If you have health insurance, you might be able to see a personal dietitian for $0 out of pocket. Nourish connects you with a dietitian that fits your needs, covered by your insurance. Nourish accepts hundreds of insurance plans, and 94% of patients pay $0 out of pocket. Meet with your dietitian online and message them anytime through the Nourish app. With hundreds of 5-star reviews from real patients, you know you're in good hands. Find your dietitian at usenourish.com. That's usenourish.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With nonstop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation by offering comfortable and spacious cabins. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on? We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial. Sports on What? We know.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, it was June 2023 when the ill-fated Ocean Gate Titan submersible unintentionally went for its final voyage. Now, you might remember that the mothership lost radio contact with the sub before confirming that it had imploded, killing all 5 passengers. Well, if you ever wondered what a submersible implosion sounds like underwater from 900 miles away, today is your lucky day. The Coast Guard released audio of the implosion. Now, the sound itself, nothing remarkable, but knowing what it represents makes it instantly memorable. And certain sounds have a way of sticking in your memory. On a list of sounds that people hate, loud chewing and smacking gum, they make an appearance. Case in point, a passenger on a train moves seats to escape the sound of the loud chewer next to him. They sat there for 20 minutes. Finally, they just couldn't take it anymore, so they moved. And that led to a conflict. And in the country of Sri Lanka, the entire country lost power after witnesses heard a large explosion. Now, what they heard was the power grid exploding after a fighting monkey fell into it. And yes, you did hear me correctly. A fighting monkey fell into the power grid, which caused the explosion that everyone heard and took out power to the entire country. So today we're talking about sounds, the ones you remember for good reasons, like, I don't know, maybe your baby giggling, or the ones you remember for bad reasons, like your yelping chihuahua being snatched up by an owl. But you tell us. Today's question, brought to you by our friends at Advanced Hair Restoration, is, what is the sound you will never forget?
To be a part of the big show, call 206-803-ROCK. Like KISW on Facebook, follow us on X and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, Patrols, away we go. Welcome to Season 20, Episode number 4,260. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeats. Coming up at 4:30, the exciting return of Who Sucks Less. Steve, I don't know how you do it. You find people doing weird crap in the news.
Oh, yeah.
Bring us 3 stories every week. It is up to us to determine, out of these 3 stories, which one sucks the least. How are we looking today on Who Sucks Less?
I mean, they're not good. I mean, basically, you got 2 frauds and 1 peekaboo.
Frauds and peekaboos.
Frauds and peekaboos. That's
frauds.
Correct.
Okay.
Frauds.
People getting people's money, I guess?
Yeah, one guy's just trying to get out of work, but went to extremes to do it. Someone else basically getting free gifts, kind of using their kid as a puppet there, if you will.
Oh.
And then a man who made, he has a drone, and a neighbor he finds attractive. I'll leave it at that. Okay.
Oh, that can't be good. Drone guy.
Yeah, drone guy.
Okay. Who Sucks Less is coming up at 4:30. And our question today, we're going to talk about sounds, the sounds you'll never forget. And as you said, Steve, some sounds are positive, and they are great sounds. And, you know, they bring memories of joy. Other sounds, What in the hell was that? You walk outside, try to figure out what's going on. Sometimes it's not a good situation, but you always remember certain sounds you'll hear.
Did you hear anything weird during your safari? Because like I said, I read the one woman's piece when she went on safari, walking safari, and the one thing she pointed out, she just said, during the day it is what it is, but at night you can't see anything, but you hear the hunters and the prey.
Yes.
And she was describing just all the animals you hear screaming because they're getting ripped apart by something bigger.
2 hippos in the middle of the night in the pond beside my room were either fighting or
getting it on,
enjoying each other's company. But
all right.
It was loud enough to wake me up out of a dead sleep.
Did you peek outside?
Which rarely happens. You know what? You could peek outside and look. I just assume stay inside.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
But it's, it
How
was...
close do you think they were? Because you're listening to
they're
this.
100 feet. 150 feet. But either way, I didn't want to go outside because it's dark. I did not know what they were.
Right.
And then I woke up in the morning and went to breakfast, and I was like, did anyone else hear that? Like, oh, yeah, it was just a couple hippos screaming in the pond. And I was like, oh, okay, well,
Is it like deep and guttural, or are they,
It was a lot. Yeah, it was. Sometimes it was high pitched, sometimes it was a low tone, but it was like a growl, a roar, a scream.
all at once?
And then, 2 of them going at it with each other, and you could hear whatever was going down was going down. But, I had a hard time going back to sleep after that. I was like, oh, man.
Is the sound worse than the things you see, right? Look, you show pictures, you're looking at a lion, the lion is awfully close.
Yes, because I didn't know what it was.
Right.
So when you don't know it, you can definitively
what a lion looks
hear an
like.
elephant. Well, yeah, I'd never heard a lion roar, but I did hear elephants. Elephants just, they kind of communicate with their with their trunk or whatever they blow out of. I'm not sure if the sound comes out of their mouth or their trunk, to be honest with you. I don't know.
That's a good question. I think it's the trunk.
I think I'm just assuming because sometimes they'll lift up their trunk, but I don't know if that sound's coming out of their mouth. I gotta think that's a dumb question for someone of my age, but I just don't really know.
I never thought about it till you just said it. I'm like,
I always assume it's the trunk, but now that you bring it up,
it looks like a giant trumpet, so I just kind of figured they were blowing their nose and communicating through that thing, which would be a funny language if you were human to just communicate out of sounds out of your nose. Yeah. Might be a messy situation.
That's about as good as I can do it.
But either way. So audio was released today, and I know there are local ties to this, but it comes from a NOAA device that was 900 miles away from the disaster site. Now, we've had a lot of strange stories in the news lately about underwater sounds. Almost the start of World War III at one point because
a whale farted.
And
Twice.
They thought it was a
Russian sub dropping listening devices on the English Navy.
Correct.
And it was a farting whale.
Yeah. And you realize, look, whales almost can communicate all the way around the world, with each other.
Yeah, sure.
And you don't realize how well sound travels underwater. But the released audio is believed to have captured the implosion of OceanGate's Titan submersible near the wreck of the Titanic. The 20-second clip was shared last week by the U.S. Coast Guard, and it includes the acoustic signature of the implosion deep in the Atlantic Ocean. Now, there were 5 people on board there, and you hear an ominous whooshing noise and a muffled boom. Now, the audio was captured by the NOAA. 900 miles away from the site of the accident. If it indeed captures that implosion, the clip offers the most precise timing yet, indicating when the submersible was destroyed, 9:34 Eastern Time, about 90 minutes after submerging off the coast of Newfoundland in Canada. So it had been going down for an hour and a half.
Right.
Before this happened. So all was good. And we do have the audio on that, right, Mike?
Like I said, the audio itself isn't interesting until you realize what it is you're listening to. So, this is it, all right? And that was the explosion. 900
But considering the size of the vessel, I'm not saying it was small. It's not
reasonably small. Because we said, look, it's 5 people. And very tight quarters. You got the sphere, and then there's a little bit of body around that. Mm-hmm. That's it, man. Maybe it's the size of, I don't know, a big SUV. Maybe a little bit bigger than that. Either way, it's not big enough, in my mind, that 900 miles away you should hear that.
It sounded like it just happened. So who knows the circumstances of the passengers.
You probably wouldn't hear it outside the water, though.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They even said, like, because like Miles said, whales will communicate thousands of miles with a single song because of the way water carries them. But instead, if they're on land, like, they'd be loud, but you don't hear anything from 900 miles away.
Right.
Like, if you were 900 miles away from anything and you're on land, you are not going to hear it.
Sure. There are a ton of sounds that I will never forget.
I mean, that's why explosions are so jarring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
rare.
reasonably close. Right.
I'm 44. The only one I really remember was there was a naval, I guess, sort of base, not that far from where I lived, out in, just over in Montgomery County. But you never knew what was going on there. They had a 9-hole golf course. So, I would always go over there. The barbershop my dad went to was right there. We'd drive by and be like, can we play golf there? And he'd be like, no, you got to be active military. So, again, this is probably 15 miles away. And then one day, our curtains blew in. There was some giant explosion.
Jesus.
They closed that base and opened the golf course.
It blew your curtains in.
It blew our curtains in. I want to say everything in that White Oak area literally had the glass blown out. But, I mean, that's how rare it is to hear an explosion like that. Yeah. And they never said what it was. They obviously were testing stuff underneath the ground there. But,
either it works very well or it didn't work at all.
Right. So, Miles, you would enjoy this. So then it was a good 9-hole course that we started playing. But there was just berms of brand new trees where the ground had just exploded out.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah. I was hiking at one point in West Virginia. And I was on a trail, but the trail was almost to the point where it could be a service road.
Yeah.
So it was that wide, and obviously vehicles hadn't gone through there. And I needed to use the bathroom, so I just stepped off the side for a second, and I'm using the bathroom. When I'm walking out, I don't know if I stepped on a couple of, a chipmunk nest or a hole or whatever.
Is it with you an animal?
No, two of these chipmunks they just darted out of there. So I either spooked them, scared them, whatever the deal is.
Right.
So they take off. And I'm looking at them like, oh, look, chipmunk. And another one flew out, and another one flew out. And they started running up that road in front of me. And all of a sudden I hear, I'm like, and I turn, man, and I look, and before I can even turn around, an owl had dropped out of the tree.
Oh, it's going after
it was hightailing after those two chipmunks. And I did not see if it picked one up or not because it kind of just hit and went up, and I couldn't tell by the angle.
I'm going to guess that he did.
Of the owl if he was successful or not.
Come here, Alvin.
But I'm telling you, it was one of the most unique sounds I've ever heard in my life as far as the weight of the bird, the sound of it dropping. I mean, it almost sounded like it could be, man-made in a way.
Right.
Like a plane could make that kind of noise.
But, that's their whole MO, right? More or less that they are silent killers at night, just drop out of the tree.
But to hear the air displacement and just the sound that this thing made and how it just it was seriously 5 to 6 inches off the ground as it was flying. I mean, and it sounded like, I don't know, like a jet taking off or like a bomb dropping at the same time. It was a bizarre sound.
So
it's a sound I'll never forget because I've never heard it again.
But you indirectly led to the death of a chipmunk.
Well,
or two. You spooked them out of their otherwise good hiding spot.
Right.
They were probably hiding there because a freaking owl was up there. And they're
you're
like,
like the dog for an owl to go hunting.
It was
exactly.
You scare out the pheasant, then the owl goes.
Well, the trail. This was kind of the beginning of the trail where you got to Cooper's Rock to see the overlook. So it's a very populated trail.
Yeah.
So that's why I stepped to the side to get behind a tree just in case someone was
spook some chipmunks and send them to their horrible death.
Well, one I'm sure lived. I don't think he got them both. I mean,
are you sure? Don't try to make yourself feel better. I'm saying that owl snatched them both up.
Yeah, you've never heard. I mean, I've never heard a sound like that in my life. It equates to what that sounded like. It was just different.
Now, Ted, you said, where were you, like the Owl Museum, or where the hell were you in Montana or something? You're talking about the
Montana
owl?
Wild Wings.
Okay,
so it's
is that like Buffalo Wild Wings?
I know. And every day I'd have a couple beers and be like, is that really the name of it? But my friend's mom, she works there, and it's a rescue center for all types of vultures.
Okay,
right. So there's falcons. There was a bald eagle, all kinds of
stuff. Are they
stuff.
part of the vulture family?
Yes.
Did you know that before you went there?
No chance.
Oh, okay. I just sure.
You show up, and it's just odd. They have, like, these little stumps, and there's just falcons sitting there, just like, okay.
All right.
So you see all the falcons and everything, and then, she was like, all right, we're going to go into the owl house. And the barn owl, I can't describe the sound it made. It was just frightening and scary. And it was like a tiny little creature. But it just was frightening. And then that's when I found out that a lot of people, the theory of like the banshee from like Irish lore is because these barn owls are all white. they would hang out in cemeteries, and then if that thing came screaming at you at night, it's all white and it makes that horrible sound. You'd be like, "That's a freaking ghost!
It's a ghost.
Yeah,
It's a ghost. What else could
no
it be?"
doubt about it, man.
And look, if you're trying to keep anything away, any kind of wildlife, you have an owl decoy. So obviously they're pretty badass. I mean, it's not. You'd think that a bald eagle or something like that would be a little bit more terrifying. It's the owl every single time.
Did you guys dissect owl puke when you were in grade school?
What?
I did not do that.
You never did?
What?
All right, Mike's with me.
What world am I living in?
It's an owl pellet.
Yeah, you break it apart, you'd find little tiny skulls.
Little bones in there. Yeah.
What? Really?
100%.
Yeah.
We
I
had
love
a
that.
frog. We got to do a frog. We did an earthworm, which is kind of like the Chinese box. You just keep opening it, and it looks the same. And then the teacher did a little pig. We couldn't get in on that.
Yeah.
Like when I was
But
in high
owl
school.
puke, never.
Yeah, when I was in high school science class, we did a legit frog, and I think little pigs. But when I was in grade school, we'd go to like the local science center, and that was like a big deal when you pull apart the owl pellet.
Now that was it was either late middle school or early high school. I think it was middle school for me.
It's
but-
like 7th grade, somewhere in there.
Really?
So the way that an owl eats is that it swallows whatever it is whole, and then it just basically grinds it up and lets it digest there, and then everything that it can't digest, whereas we shoot it out the back, they pellet it up and then vomit it up as just this little, looks like a pine cone.
Yeah.
They're a sexy
And
bird.
they hack it on out there. Like you said, he's 100% true. There's jawbones and whatnot. There's little skulls and little
Yeah, I mean, you
bones.
literally, I remember finding a little full skull of a mole.
Really?
Huh?
Yeah.
Why do we miss this?
I know. That seems a lot cooler. I mean, the frog was cool, the pig, whatever, man. But that sounds much cooler.
Just sitting there with a toothpick, just taking it all apart.
And I will say, the owl pellet does not have that weird smell of the frog.
Oh,
the
just a straight formaldehyde.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know
That's a
what I mean?
terrible
Like,
smell.
you could walk down the hall and be like, "Oh, they're dissecting frogs today."
So I remember when we dissected frogs, it was 7th grade, and we lived out in the sticks. So one of the kids there, and he was being dead serious, and the teacher was cool. He was like, he went to each desk because you had a partner, right? He's like, "Hey, man, do me a favor and give me all the frog guts," because he would use them for bait when he went fishing, which made complete sense. So he had like this big-ass plastic bag of frog guts. But with that in mind, I had like the empty frog shell, whatever you want to call it, when you remove the guts. So after the class, I snuck it out in a paper towel. And you know, your average water fountain has kind of that, trapezoid-shaped kind of metal piece, the mouth guard.
yeah.
Well, where we cut the frog open, it fit over that. So when you looked at the water fountain, there's this frog with 4 legs out, and then I adjusted it so the water could shoot out.
Oh, my
its
God.
mouth.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I'm trying to do this quietly so that no one notices. And when I turned around, I was Robin something. I can't remember her name. This redheaded girl. We've been going to school together for like 5 years. She looks at me like, "Move." That's exactly how she said it. She wanted to get water. Like, all right, man. So I step aside and just walk away, and she starts, "Oh, my God. Oh, my God." So now everyone in the hall is gathered around this water fountain. And as you'd imagine, all the boys are cheering this on. All the girls think that it's disgusting. The reason I got figured out in this case, because Robin did not dime me out, to her credit, but the principal ends up calling me down to his office during the next period. You know, they do it over the PA. "Mr. Walker, Stephen Hill in your class. Just send him down to the office, please." So I already know what's going on. And I walk in, and he's like, "Man, seriously, you put a frog."
A dead frog.
A dead frog. On, I said, "Well, we were dissecting." He goes, "I know what's going on in this school." I said, "How did you figure out it was me?" He said, "Because when I was walking down the hall to see what everyone's freaking out about, you were the only kid at their locker pulling books out being calm. The only kid who had zero interest."
You dimed yourself out.
Yeah, but kids are stupid and you don't realize that, you know. So kids, listen. If you cause the problem, just stick around in the crowd. It's harder to finger.
It's like, hey, look, it's like when you go into a jail cell, right? 3 guys in there. The dude sleeping, he did it. He's not worried about a single thing.
Really?
Worst thing that'll happen is the truth.
How about the sound of the door closing?
Oh, the jail
that
cell?
sucks, dude.
Yeah,
That's
thanks
a
for bringing
bad
that up. That is horrible.
Thanks for bringing it up. I mean, that would be the sound. I think I remember like, "Oh, crap."
You
And
do.
every
It's
time it
horrible.
shuts, it's like worse.
Is it loud?
Well, I was alone in my cell. So
well,
I
for
didn't
me,
have-
I was just in there for a couple nights, like 3 days. So you just keep going from cell to cell, and you're like, all right, this got to be the one I'm getting out of. It wasn't. And every time it shuts, it gets worse.
There's just a certain permanence that you feel with it, you know, because you're mouthing off to the cops or whatever's going on. Like, you're pissed, you know. Whatever situation you're in that you're going to jail, you're probably not in a good mood. They put you in the cell. They give you some instructions, and all you can think is F you. And, man, when you hear that thing shut, it's just like, all right, like, there's nothing I can do.
It gets real quick. You know you have effed up.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just a horrible, like, pit in your stomach.
Even
like,
if you haven't done anything wrong, until they figure it out and that thing's locked, it is a bad, isolating feeling. Like,
right, because people in the jail, they don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the cops bring you in. Like, they're just like, all right, like, look, I got to process you. It's not my job to tell you whether you're guilty. Right. They don't give two S's. They're just like, look, we run the jails. But, yeah, every time, you're right, Miles. Every time that thing would close, it's like, oh, God.
Yeah.
That you have no idea what time it is. You get served another meal, and you're like, God damn it, I'm never getting out of here. And then just because it's funnier for me, I mean, imagine then you've been in there for a day and a half, and they move you into a giant cell. And I mean, like literally, this is Baltimore in early 2000s. There's maybe two other white guys in there.
And I bet you they're both crazy.
Yeah, they're dropping the N-word, and nobody cares because they slang in the same hood as everybody else. But when a large black man who's an inmate from the jail comes down and starts with, brothers, oh damn it. Right? And it's like, the white man. And I mean, he's going on for a while. And I'm just like, what if they get fired up? Just like beat up the white guy. These were actual thoughts. It was fine. And I agreed with him. He probably was. I know, but I'm just like, oh my God. Like, if they're going to beat up a white guy, it's me. They're not going to beat up the two from their neighborhood.
What is the sound that you will never forget? 206-803-ROCK.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. When that pipe starts to trickle and you're in a real pickle, call Pinky. When that burst pipe starts to smell ripe, call Pinky. When your water heater's shot and it won't get hot, call Pinky. When you get home to a flood, call your best bud. Pinky's Plumbing to the rescue. No job is too big or too small. Pinky's does it all. So when your plumbing backs up and things get stinky, call Pinky's. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
Wow.
What's up?
I just bought and financed a car through Carvana in minutes.
You? The person who agonized 4 weeks over whether to paint your walls eggshell or off-white bought and financed a car in minutes?
They made it easy. Transparent terms, customizable down and monthly. Didn't even have to do any paperwork.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Hey, have you checked out that spreadsheet I sent you for our dinner options?
Finance your car with Carvana and experience total control. Financing subject to credit approval.
Where'd you get those shoes? Easy. They're from DSW. Because DSW has the exact right shoes for whatever you're into right now. You know, like the sneakers that make office hours feel like happy hour. The boots that turn grocery aisles into runways. And all the styles that show off the many sides of you, from daydreamer to multitasker and everything in between. Because you do it all in really great shoes. Find a shoe for every you at your DSW store or DSW.com.
Hiring is a lonely business. Posting jobs, sifting through resumes, interviews with unqualified applicants, being ghosted. What if you could link with dozens of qualified candidates who are ready to work right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, the workforce you need. Problem solved. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
Plug in a Hyundai EV and the extraordinary happens. From the charge time and range in the Ioniq 5 and 6 to the adventurous spirit of the Kona Electric to the 601 horsepower Ioniq 5N. Hyundai EVs make the extraordinary electrifying. There's joy in every journey.
EPA estimated 303-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 5 SE SEL Limited rear-wheel drive and 361-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 6 SE long-range rear-wheel drive with fully charged battery. Actual range may vary. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK from the Pinky's Plumbing Studio. You're in the men's room.
Country of Sri Lanka plunged into darkness on Sunday as a nationwide power outage caused massive losses to businesses and wiped millions from the economy. The reason behind one of the worst power outages in the island's history was a monkey. The Ceylon Electricity Board initially said the power cut was caused by an emergency at a substation south of the capital, Colombo, without providing any other details. Later, though, the energy minister said a group of monkeys had jumped into the power station during a scuffle. One of them landed on the transmission line. A monkey came in contact with our grid transformer, causing an imbalance in the system. A security guard at the power station claimed that he heard a loud, booming explosion. then saw a ball of fire. He said it was unlikely a monkey could have caused such a crisis. He was wrong.
Was it monkey fire?
Monkeys do jump into the power station very often. This does not seem to have been caused by a monkey, but upon further examination, yes. The Energy Ministry apologized for the inconvenience and caused the South Asian nation's 23 million people to lose power.
You don't have to apologize when a monkey falls into your power grid. You know what I mean? Don't, hey, man, sir, it's like, no, look, this is not human error. This is, I don't know how you account for fighting monkeys.
You think they'd have a barbed wire fence on top or something that would be able to, I don't know how you keep a monkey out of your...
Well, security guard said they do this every night. So, right, at that point, like, hey, why don't we put up a deterrent and prevent monkeys from falling into the power grid?
Our question, what is the sound that you will never forget? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, John. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, happy belated 20th, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
You betcha. Well, I couldn't decide between two, so I'll start with one and we'll go from there. Sound I will never forget, and unfortunately I'll never be able to hear again. I was live. I saw a space shuttle launch.
Okay. My brother got to go to, I think it was their final launch of the space shuttle program, and when he told me, you're a very good distance away, and he said, man, you cannot explain, like, how loud it is, and just because you're, what, like a mile away or something?
Correct. I think the viewing is like 2 miles away, and when I see it go up, it's like maybe a half an inch, from your eyeball perspective.
Yeah.
So it's going up. I see this little thing go up in the sky and smoke trail behind it, and I'm thinking, wow, that's cool. I got to see a space shuttle. And then it was about 10, 15 seconds later, wham, just hit with a wall of sound. The earth is shaking, and there's pops and crackles. And, I mean, I've been to concerts and stuff, but this was a wall of sound. It was physically like my guts were flapping around.
Yeah, I couldn't hear what my brother said as well, man. Because I'm like, oh, that's cool. And
that's strange. The most memorable thing about the launch is not watching something fly into space. It's the sound it makes.
That was absolutely, because I was like, man, that's cool. You get to go. And John, he pretty much said what you said. He's like, the thing you walk away with is how freaking loud it is, and then you realize how far away you are from it for it to still be that loud.
Dude, I forgot I saw it too. Because I was in Disney World. It was in 2011. And yeah, we were sitting at the pool one day. They were like, if you stand here at this time, you'll see it launch.
Did you get to hear it at all, or just see it go up?
I don't remember hearing it, but we were not close.
Right.
But it was kind of sad and cool, like he's saying. It's like, holy cow, I get to see a space shuttle take off. And it's like, that's the last one of the program.
Oh, you saw the same one?
It's super unexpected because I never hear that on television. You guys are radio guys. I don't know if you turn the gain down or whatever, but it never comes through like that on television.
No, you just always get in the background. That's it.
Plus, you never see that. You just see the thing in the air. When they show the highlight, you don't get to. Yeah, you're right. You don't hear that sound. But I'll say
you're
this.
right. My brain was rattling. My guts were rattling. I'm trying to yell at someone next to me like, how cool is this? But we're both yelling at each other. Our lips are moving, but there is nothing coming out. There's no sound that can surpass.
So how did you get that opportunity anyway? My brother, he worked for NASA, so that was basically just a freebie they gave him. But what about you?
Oh, wow. Well, I went to a CES show, so I'm not sure how long ago this was. It was the last time they had the CES show in Florida. And they flew me from Washington to there. And for whatever reason, it was cheaper to have me there a couple extra days because of hotels and plane tickets or whatever. So I had a couple days that I can just roam around. And there's tourist packets and stuff. And they said, hey, you want to see a space shuttle launch? I'm like, yeah, I do.
That's cool.
So I gotta assume you're kind of looking at what would be like a state or national park area where nothing is inhabited based on the noise, the sound. There can't be anything close to that thing, right?
There's still a lot of birds. You're like in swampland, basically. There's egrets. It's a protective bird place, actually.
Okay. All right.
If they don't mind that little bit of rumble from the space shuttle.
John, it was a different sound, but it sounded like something from outer space. So 9/11 happens, right?
Yeah.
And it's obviously it's a crazy day, but for whatever reason, that time of the year in that area, it was a beautiful sunny day.
It was. It was warm. So, after all of the mayhem and everything else, finally ended up getting back and to my place. And at that point in time, I was running on a daily basis. So I'm like, you know what? It's a nice day. I got to clear my head. This has been one hell of a day at work. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to just go take a run. Not a great idea because of how fast people were driving, even through neighborhoods on their way home.
Oh, absolutely.
It was probably a bad idea, but I did it anyway. So they had closed all of the airspace within the Washington, D.C. area and the whole East Coast, basically. They shut down all air travel. And all of the planes that they were running between New York, Washington, and Baltimore and Philly were all flying at incredibly low altitude.
Yep.
So nobody was on the radar. But I look up, man, and there's a stealth bomber. First of all, it looks like something Batman pilots.
It absolutely does.
And a stealth fighter is pretty large.
It is shockingly massive.
A stealth bomber?
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
That you look at this thing and it doesn't look like it's moving that fast. And you're like, how is this thing not falling out of the sky? But the noise in the shadow, because it flew right over top of the noise it made was something out of like a sci-fi movie. I can't, it's stealth, yes, it's quiet. But you can still hear it when it's flying that low to the ground. And I mean, it was
stealth on radar.
Well, right, yeah, whatever the deal was. I'm just like, man, that's when I kind of went, oh no. Things are not real. I mean, we knew things were bad, but I was like, oh, this is going to get worse.
That kind of reinforces it.
More bad's coming. And that did not happen, fortunately. But at that time, man, I was just like, and that's when just reality, I think, like anything else, the adrenaline that morning was to the point of, oh, no. But when that thing flew over top, I was like, what is going on? Are we still being attacked?
Right.
In other words, is this just the beginning of who knows what?
Real bad time, yeah.
Yeah, but that plane, man, that was I can't even describe it.
Shocking. Like, I was going to a Husky game this year. I know the F-35s are going to fly over.
Yeah.
Right? But you're tailgating, you kind of forget. And then as we're walking in, we didn't make game time, and you just forgot. And by the time they go over, it is so loud.
Yeah.
I mean, I just couldn't help it. I was like, God damn. Right? And like, the guy in front of me had his kids and family with him. He turned around and he's like, yeah. I was like, John, what's up? He's like, Dad. I was like, God. How did we forget? He goes, I don't know. That scared the S out of me.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're moving fast, man.
What is a sound that you'll never forget? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Taylor. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, guys.
Hola.
So, I agree with you guys. The whole jail doors. I used to be a prison guard. That one is definitely, when you hear the doors shut, it's definitely a different feeling.
Now, wait a minute. You were
on the other side of the door. You're on the other side of the door.
Yeah, but when you hear it shut, especially when you're like in an offender unit that has some special people in it, it's scary. But I called in. I was working at an auto recycling yard, and we were using a front end loader to move cars around and rip cars open so we could pull the copper wire out. And my buddy was driving the front end loader, and the hydraulic line blew on it. And I had earplugs in, and of course it's loud, but like I was like, "What is that noise?" And he jumped out of the machine, and it was like he looked, what happened? It's like, look at the windshield, and it was just hydraulic fluid all up the windshield of the machine. It was bad.
So you're saying that the fluid came flying out of the machine itself?
Yeah, so like there's hydraulic lines that there's like a hydraulic pump that moves the forks up and down on it so you can like pick things up.
Yeah.
And the main line to the hydraulic blew. So there was just like hydraulic fluid spraying everywhere.
And it made that much noise?
Yeah, well, because we were ripping cars with it. You were using the forks to pull the cars apart so we could get the copper wire out because it's a recycling yard. And, like, something sounded completely different because, like, the hydraulic didn't have any pressurized fluids in it anymore. It just dropped.
Oh, right,
So
okay.
so not only was the fluid spraying everywhere, the forks just fell on the ground. And it was definitely a loud noise, and it shook the area you're working in because of what we were doing.
How heavy do you think those forks are? If you were to separate them from the forklift itself, how much weight are they?
They're they're heavy. I couldn't even. I don't know. Don't even know how much they weigh, but they're heavy.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially on that vehicle because they're bigger forks than a normal forklift. It's like one solid piece. It's not two separate forks that you can move around.
Ah, okay.
It's like one solid. Yeah, so it was heavy. So, like, when it dropped, it was, not only was it loud, but it was like, you could feel it. And that's when I turned around and I was like, what was that? And he had already jumped out of the machine. He was like, well, we're done for the day.
Yeah. That makes it easy at that point.
I went to bed one night. It was I just gone to sleep 1:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. I just moved into this house. I heard an explosion, and I'm like, oh, my God. I got 2 kids in the house. I jump up. I'm like, I run down into the basement. I looked at the furnace. The furnace was acting. It was fine. Right. I went to the hot water heater to see, did something blow up in there? I ran around the perimeter of the house to see if someone had taken a car into a tree or whatever. I mean, I could not, for the life of me, figure out what had blown up in my house.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's any smoke. There's nothing. It's dead quiet. My kids did not wake up, amazingly. My wife at the time did not wake up. This boom was so loud. I mean, it felt like it shook the entire neighborhood. And so I go back to bed. And I'm just, in the morning, I'm like, man, I give it one more once through, trying to figure out what the hell it was. And I'd been there for 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks inside the house. And the couple that I bought it from, they were the original owners of the home. All right. And the woman, at one point in time, was found walking around the neighborhood in her nightgown. She was
like
confused.
dementia, stuff like that.
So they put her in a home. The husband stayed for a little while after that. Eventually, he moved on to a living facility as well. So the family sells the house to me. So I'm the second owner of this house. What I did not know was they were in their 90s. All right. Their driving privileges were taken away 10 years ago before this. So I had been using the garage door to open and load stuff into my house.
Yeah.
But they never opened their garage door. All right. And it was an original garage door unit from 1970. The spring on that thing snapped. So I didn't walk. I was not in the garage. It took a day later. I walk in there and the spring is hanging in 2 pieces from the ceiling. And that's what blew. It just blew on its own in the middle of the night. Like, boom. It hadn't been used in so long. I guess it either rusted out or whatever.
Probably.
Whatever the deal was. Man, it sounded like dynamite going off. I was like, wow. Guess I got to get that replaced.
Those garage door springs, they're no joke.
I mean, it sounded like my furnace blew up. What is a sound you'll never forget? 206-803-ROCK.
Dude, I was at a girl's house one night, and her place was like an older house. Maybe a little bit. They had split into like 4 apartments.
Yeah.
Right? So it wasn't. Either way, underneath was a little laundry area. And then one night we're sitting there and we just hear this scratching. And it's through the floor. Right? I'm like lifting up the couch and stuff. And like, I'll be dead honest with you. At first, you're kind of like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Now at this point, it's just me and her. I'm scared too. Right? But I moved the couch. And then it's just, from what I could determine, it just had to be a raccoon or something that was in the laundry room that I guess just felt the warmth. It was trying to scratch through like a hole in the carpet.
That's kind of weird, man. I think I've only had one place where you hear scratching in the walls. And just like you said, try to ignore it. It's like, I'm sure it'll go away. I don't know why anyone says that, but it doesn't. You know, and then you keep listening. Long story short, it ends up being mice or rats. That was the Baltimore way, but it's still weird when they're in the wall because it's one thing if it's in the wall between me and another apartment. I'm like, but this is in the wall between the kitchen and the bathroom. Like, it is definitively in my place, man. It's just in the wall. Then you hear the scratches in different places or the ceiling. We, 9th grade in high school, man. This is Baltimore City. It was final period. It was English class, and we heard scratching in the ceiling tiles, right? And it was kind of gentle. And everyone's kind of laughing. They're joking about, hey, we got rats. But, well, we did. Because the ceiling tile broke, man, and like 3 big-ass rats drop into the classroom. And you can picture just a bunch of brothers sitting in a room where rats have fallen
out of a ceiling.
It's instant mayhem, man. I mean, like, class over, it didn't matter. The teacher's not going to get anyone's attention again. It's just... this classroom went crazy. I thought it was hilarious, but other people are really...
That's like when I had the bat in my homeroom. It's
right, same thing.
Just chaos.
Glass over.
The teacher's hiding in the back. Get down, there's a bat. The teacher hit. She was scared, beyond scared. Again, it's just like the voice of like Lucifer. Get down, there's a bat. And then, I get into my classroom where it's like, Tiny Duck. And then Tiny Duck. And then when you get in there, as I open the door, somebody else opened the door. The bat flew out, and now the bat is loose again in the hallway. People are loud.
I'll say, if you live on the East Coast, you get the every 17-year cicadas.
Yeah.
And these things are super loud. And even though they are perfectly harmless, they are big, they're jet black, they have red eyes. So people just don't like them by appearance. Man, you get on the bus in Baltimore City, and a single cicada gets on the bus. It's, picture like being on a 747, and the pilot just announced, like, brace for impact. Or the wings on fire, like we're going to, like what you would expect people to act like. That was the bus. And it's one cicada, man. But everyone they're throwing punches. Women are losing their wigs. I mean, seriously. You're like, dude.
Women are losing their wigs.
That's no joke. But these things are so loud, right? And they just cover trees. And the place I lived, we had the maintenance crew, like the lawn care crew come in. And these guys, I'm guessing they're like Mexican or Guatemalan. They've been here for maybe 6 months. They don't know what these are, all right? But their whole job is to trim trees and do the lawn. And I cannot explain, if you have not seen cicadas when they come out in full, if there's a tree, that tree is jet black from bottom to top.
Everything's covered. And you literally have to put on your wipers sometimes on 95 because you're hitting so many bugs.
Also, you have one on the back of your shirt, not even know to walk into your house and bring them in with you.
Oh, yeah, because they have like little hook feet and all this kind of thing.
It's
it's a thing for like 3 weeks. But these guys, they have no idea what these things are. And I remember these guys, they pull up in the truck, and just two little dudes get out, and they're both like they're shrinking down as much as they can, and they're just staring at the tree. And keep in mind, the tree is also screaming at you. So these guys, they're looking at me, and I'm trying to explain. I'm like, they're just cicadas. And they're like, cicadas. I'm like, dude, they're harmless. Like, I don't know, man. I was like, no, listen. They're freaking harmless. Like, they're the dumbest bug ever. They're not going to do anything. They were not okay. Like, because they tried to take the leaf blower to blow them off. Like, it's not going to work, man. These poor dudes, I thought they were going to soil themselves.
What is a sound that you'll never forget? 206-803-ROCK.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
So I used Gemini for the first time the other day, and the most impressive thing to me was just talking to it. You go live with it, and then it's just like you're having a conversation. You can just talk about your day or have it explain something to you or start brainstorming ideas. Let me give you an example. I pretended I have a job interview coming up and asked it to help me prep for the interview. It immediately started suggesting common questions I might get asked. Then I started talking through my answers out loud, and it would give me feedback. And it's all happening in real time, like I'm talking to a career coach or something. That's just what I tried first, but you can talk to it about anything. And I honestly think that's the magic of it, how you can just have this back and forth, and it's all seamless. If you haven't tried it yet, it's definitely worth checking out. You'll see what I mean.
I'm not exactly a tech genius, but I knew one thing for sure. If I wanted my small business to crush it, I needed a website that worked like a pro. And I needed it yesterday. Lucky for me, Bluehost made it ridiculously easy. With their AI design tools, building my website was a walk in the park. I could customize, optimize, and monetize everything exactly how I wanted. In just a few minutes, I had a secure site up and running. I couldn't believe how straightforward it was. And getting found online? Bluehost helped me with that too. I perfected my keywords and meta descriptions with their search engine tools. The AI even gave me suggestions to improve my pages. Now I can sit back, relax, and focus on my customers while my website continues to rank higher and higher on Google. With their 30-day money-back guarantee, I wasn't worried about taking the plunge. And now I am so glad I did. Head over to Bluehost.com and build something special today.
The brand new Grand Casino and Shoreline is now open. Step into the action with Vegas-style table games like Baccarat, Heads Up Hold'em Poker, Pai Gow, Blackjack, and High Card Flush. Feeling hungry? Feast on delicious Chinese, Vietnamese, and continental dishes, plus breakfast favorites. Dine in or take out. And don't miss daily happy hours from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. to midnight. Grand Casino and Shoreline off Aurora. Open daily from 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. Visit GrandCasinoGaming.com. Welcome to the Grand Experience.
Auto insurance rates are on the rise, which is why you should call Vern Fonk Insurance. Vern Fonk could save you up to 20% on your auto insurance. The pros at Vern Fonk will do all the work, comparing different plans to find you the best options. And they can insure you over the phone. One call to Vern Fonk could save you up to 20%. Call 206-408-5094. 206-408-5094.
Remember to honk when you drive by Vern Fonk.
Restrictions apply based on a Q3 2023 study of Vern Fonk insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number 1070622.
Looking to improve your diet in the new year? Try seeing a personal dietitian with Nourish. Nourish has hundreds of dietitians who specialize in a variety of health concerns, including weight loss, gut health, and more. Meet with your dietitian online and message them anytime through the Nourish app. Nourish accepts hundreds of insurance plans. 94% of patients pay $0 out of pocket. Find your personal dietitian at usenourish.com. That's usenourish.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Fly Condor Airlines non-stop to Frankfurt and connect effortlessly to most European destinations. Relax and start your vacation in comfort. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today and book your next adventure.
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on? We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial. Sports on What? We know.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Our question, what is the sound that you will never forget? 206-803-ROCK.
And man, oh man, just reading some of the text, it's wonderful stuff. I won't forget the sound of my collarbone snapping when a fat kid fell on me. I'll never forget the sound of the table saw stopping when my fingers went through it. The sound of someone choking on their own ruptured esophagus. I will never get that sound or visual out of my brain. I'll always remember the sound of impact head in a car crash. Yeah, it's all the good hits, man. The sound my dog made when he tried to jump our 8-foot chain link fence and got stuck, dangling by one toe at the top. Absolutely the most horrifying animal scream I will ever unhear.
I left this out, but I will say, watching somebody die in front of you in that death gargle.
Yeah, you said when playing baseball.
Yeah, you could remember that.
Yeah, I think you would. You know what sound I always remember, because I do it at least once a week? Stepping on my dog's paw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You just start, like, she's under the coffee table or something, so you kind of forget that she's in the room, and then I stand up and realize I've stepped on her paw, and it's the same scream every time, and I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry.
Well, the sound of animals in pain is probably just one of the worst sounds that you'll ever hear.
But sometimes I wonder what pain they feel more. So yesterday I'm walking the dog as my wife and my son are pulling into the driveway. The dog gets very excited. I just take her off the leash, and obviously she shoots up the driveway and meets the car. Then I hear my son going, "Oh, God, I'm sorry, Molly." So when I get up, I'm like, what happened? He was closing the car door. She was about to jump into the car and basically smashed it on her head.
Oh.
I'm like, did she yelp or I didn't hear anything? He's like, no, she still seems the same.
Yeah.
So, feet sensitive, head not.
What is the sound you'll never forget? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Robert. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and Horse.
Liquor and Horse.
Hey, first, congratulations on the 20. I've listened to every one of those years, by the way.
Oh, thank you, man.
Nice.
Anyways, so I was working out at JBLM. We're putting up some buildings, and President's flying into town. I don't even remember which president it was. A little Cessna crossed its path, which we didn't know. But they scrambled 2 jets from Oregon, and they broke the sound barrier, which sounded like it was right above us. and I thought we were going to war.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, I remember that.
What was the time?
That was Obama.
What were they? Were they 12, 13? Whatever the time was. It took
From the
them
time they were
to
dispatched
get to Portland or whatever to hear it was
7
just
minutes or,
insane.
something crazy.
Yeah, it was. I remember the story. The guy, he had no idea what was going on.
He really didn't.
But the next thing you know, it's like a movie. You look out the window and you got a guy over here and a guy over here, and they're flanking you, going like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
That's like just land the plane. The first time I heard the sound barrier break, I didn't know what it was. And when we moved to Colorado, where we moved had been nothing but prairie, and now they're building houses there, right? So anyway, the Colorado Springs Air Force Academy or whatever it is, they're 40 miles away. I don't remember. But I guess during the routine training, since there had never been residences there, this was the place we could break the sound barrier. So anyway, me and a neighborhood kid were playing outside, and you just hear boom, 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 boom. Ground shakes a little bit. And there's nothing there. And then a couple seconds later, these 2 jets fly overhead, but they're not making any noise. Then you hear the noise of the jets. It makes sense. They broke the sound barrier. Just as a kid, I did not know that was a thing. So I go running in the house, and I'm trying to, because my mother's like, "Did you hear that?" I'm like, "What was that?" And before she could say anything, I said, "Look, man, we saw 2 planes fly overhead, but they weren't making any noise. And like after they're gone, you hear the noise of the plane." She goes,
like they maybe dropped a bomb or something. You know?
Yeah, I really didn't know. And she's like, "It's the sound barrier, stupid." She's like, so she explained to me what it was, and I'm like, well, then that was really cool. I didn't know it was cool until she explained it, but I guess word got back to the base, like, hey, people live there now, so you got to do your training. If you're going to break the sound barrier, you got to do it somewhere else.
What is a sound you'll never forget? 206-803-ROCK.
I will say, every time you knock over a toddler, I feel like it's the same thud.
How many times have you knocked over a toddler?
I don't know. You bump into him or something like.
I didn't expect that one to come up.
I feel like between 35 and 45, for my life, anyhow, there's a high percentage you're hanging out with people that have toddlers.
Sure. And just
you never know.
It's
or
a universal sound, you're saying?
Yeah, or like I saw some of my cousins, they have a little baby. He's like 1. So he's like, I guess not quite 1. So he's big on like grabbing you and trying to climb you.
Yeah.
But I was eating, so I didn't elbow him. I just kind of gave him my hand and be like, let's go this way. And then, I don't know, he thought it. And then he started crying. And I was like, oh, good job, Ted. I'm like, well, I mean, they fall over. It's part of growing up. But I don't know what it is. Doesn't matter what size it is. I just feel like that butt hitting the ground. It's the same.
Universal sound.
Yep.
Universal sound.
What is the sound you'll never forget? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Marcus. Welcome to the bedroom.
Hello, fellas.
Hola.
All right. So I got 3 daughters and 1 wife.
Well, that's better than having
All
3 wives and 1 daughter, isn't it?
So about 15 years ago, I've been out working in the yard. It was cold like it is today. And I asked her to make me a cup of coffee, and I went inside, started watching TV, fell asleep while she had my instant roast in the microwave. She hands it to me, and it falls on my genitalia after I'd fallen asleep. And the highest pitched screech out of all those girls was me waking up to my genitalia burning.
Yeah, that's fair, man. Yeah, we'll cut you slack on that.
Yeah. And I still dream about that.
You do?
That sound. It's not a dream. It's a nightmare.
Okay.
And so does she. My wife does. She's like, I'd never heard a worse sound in my life. Fact.
That is something.
Yeah, sometimes when you're in extreme pain, nothing comes out of your mouth.
I've seen that once.
It's either one or the other.
My brother, my mom used it as a bookend or whatever. Anyway, cookbooks in the kitchen. There's like one of those little irons. It's an actual iron, but no one uses them anymore. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. You basically heated them up another way. You put them on a wood stove.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It was like
it's
a cast
solid
iron.
piece of iron. Anyway, we were I think we were grabbing cereal or whatever. Either way, it fell off the top and it landed point down on his big toe. I just remember this. And he looked at me, man. His eyes were wide. His mouth was open. And again, I'm maybe 4 or 5. So I'm like, I guess it doesn't hurt because he looks like he's screaming, but there's no sound. And I mean, it was like 5 solid seconds. His mouth just hanging open looking at me. Then the tears started flowing. I realized, he is in pain. I just thought he was tough as hell because he's just sitting there. I'm like, wow, he ain't screaming or nothing. So has his mouth open like he's shot. And I realized, he's in extreme pain.
Yeah.
That's the only time I've seen that.
A few years ago, somebody came over top of a ball and cleaning me pretty good playing public soccer.
Yeah.
And same thing. I like popped up and was like, it's fine. And then about 2 steps in, I started limping and was like, stop. Started screaming. And then it was just like swollen up. I was like, I'm done.
What is the sound you'll never forget? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
So Jed reminded me of the jets flying over top. You guys are familiar with the Snoqualmie Pass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that canyon. I worked up there for, 14 years on and off. And the fighter jets will come down and buzz that canyon. And they'll get low enough to where you can see the pilot as he goes by.
Damn.
Yeah.
They're going over top of that reservoir is what they're ideally aiming for, right?
Yeah, they're right over the water. They're so, like the road's elevated, probably, 50 feet up above the water.
Yeah. Yeah, the new section of road.
Yeah, I helped build all that.
Wow.
So when they come down, come down in there, if you see them in time or hear them coming, you turn around, you can actually see the pilot inside that plane as they go flying by you.
Have you ever seen a fire plane land there and do its thing?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I never have either. My buddy saw it. He said, man, you have no idea how tactical these guys are.
Really?
I mean, they just basically touch land. They drag on that reservoir. They pick up as much water as they can, and they take off before they get to the dam side. And then they go up and they dump
Hopefully.
it. And they go up and dump it somewhere in, Lake Chelan. Typically is what burns.
Yeah, I've never seen them in action. Not even on TV.
I've seen the highlights. I shouldn't say highlights, but like even though those awful fires just happened in California, they'll show you like those guys are so good.
Yeah, they got to be, man.
What is the sound you'll never forget? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Brian. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, hola.
Hola.
So a couple years ago, I was climbing in the Sierra Nevadas with 2 other friends for a bachelor party. And we got to kind of a challenging section. And I look over in time to see my buddy climbing over like a fairly good-sized boulder. And him and the boulder both roll over the edge, and I hear him scream.
Oh.
And about 1 second goes by, and I hear a hard crash, and I hear this blood-curdling scream, and he's screaming my name. He's screaming for help, and I stopped for a second, and I thought, I don't know if I'm ready to see what I'm about to see. And I go to the edge, and I just see him holding on to his foot, and the boulder luckily it had only crashed and rolled over his foot. But we had to get him up to a ledge and spend 8 hours waiting for a helicopter for him to get rescued off.
How high were you up when this goes down?
What was that?
How high were you?
Elevation-wise.
Yes, elevation-wise.
It's on the Sierra High Route, and most of the whole high route's above 10,000 feet.
So you are way up there when this goes down. And how big was
and luckily, he fell about 20 feet maybe, and it was kind of a tumbling fall. But he stopped on a ledge above like another 100-foot drop. So like if he would have kept going, he would have been done.
Was it your bachelor party or his?
It was his bachelor party, actually.
Jesus.
All right. How was he for the wedding?
You know what? It was awesome because I checked in on him after the wedding, and he said, you know what? Honestly, it was great, man. I didn't even have to dance at my wedding.
Damn. Spoken like a true dude.
I could just sit there.
Yeah.
People came to me.
Dad did the first dance, nothing. So how bad was the damage to him after all this?
So it was pretty bad. He had a pair of crampons on, like right steel claws in the bottom of your boot, and it had flattened the crampons. I was able to get his boot off and look at it, and his foot was like, the bottom of his foot was convex, like his whole foot was swollen and like yellow and purple, and it had just crunched a bunch of the bones in his lower foot.
So were you guys ice climbing?
No, we were just mountaineering. But the whole route is pretty much off route. And the year we did, it was a really high snow year. So it made the route finding pretty challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, because what if you rolled with a boulder off of a ledge? So what do you do for 8 hours when you're waiting on the helicopter?
It was also pretty crazy. I watched him go through like different stages of shock. He was like screaming and hitting himself, and hysterically crying, and then all of a sudden he would calm down, and we'd like have conversations, and it was okay. And then all of a sudden he'd start hyperventilating, and he was saying like, "I'm gonna die. They're not gonna send a helicopter for me. Like I'm nobody. Like why would they send a helicopter for me?"
You should have told him, dude, they're sending it for me. You're right.
So
you're gonna die.
When they plug him off this ledge, you're there too. You can't get off that thing. So do they take you as well?
You know what? That was another thing is so this helicopter didn't have a winch. It was the Yosemite helicopter. They do a long line. So they land in a valley and they pay out a bunch of rope and they have a ranger clip onto the rope, and the helicopter lifts up and then eventually takes up all the slack and lifts up the ranger, right? And so they were able to drop her down on this cliff on the ledge we were on. She unclipped and they flew away, and then she packaged up my buddy. And she asked us, like, "Hey, do you guys want to ride down to the valley floor?" Because we were going to hike back out. And I said, "Hey, I can't afford that." And she said, "No, it's free. You're in the national park. It's all free."
Huh.
And I said, "Well, hell yeah, let's do it."
All right.
And the other guy said, "No, it was his cousin Josh that got hurt." He's like, "Get Josh to the hospital. Like, we're fine. Just get him out of here." And I thought that was really bold because the other guy wasn't very much of a climber at all. He was kind of scared the whole time.
Dude, have you ever seen the video of a woman who's rescued somewhere? It looks like it's a desert hike. I don't know what the deal is. They put her on a flatboard.
Oh, no.
And the helicopter comes down. They just, I don't know, somebody clipped her in because she's by herself. She's not, there's nobody with her, a ranger or whatever. And I mean, this thing starts spinning. And I mean, when I say it starts spinning, it looks like the terror ride from hell. I mean, worse than anything you could imagine. And apparently all the blood.
I was say it was. She got messed up from that.
Goes to
she
your
got
feet
real messed up.
and goes to your head.
And that's it.
It's just the way it's spinning you. That's just the way the gravitational force
Well, it's
works.
centrifugal force, man.
But you're watching this.
Yeah, and I think the ironic part was she only had a broken nose. I saw that video. She had a broken nose and was like wanting to walk down, but she was older, and I guess for some reason they insisted on flying her out. So it wasn't like she was that excited about the helicopter ride initially, I don't think.
So she had a broken nose. There's nothing wrong with your limbs. It's a broken nose. Then they basically convince her to strap down to this gurney, and then she started ripping around in those circles.
I just read the article. That's all it said. So, I mean, I can't confirm.
The video is brutal.
It is, man.
The video is absolutely brutal. You're like, oh, my God. To me, it looked like that could have killed her.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. When I saw that, I was like, that is worse than anything that she's already been through.
I had a broken nose. That was it. Somebody here says it's the rotor wash that makes it spin. Like, we get it, but it's just, what do you do? Because the thing is, they've taken her off the ground.
But they're not pulling her up, so she's not getting closer to the
But they
aircraft.
couldn't pull her up.
they're trying.
Because she's, you know what I mean? Because then you worry about, man, if this, based on the way it's spinning, if we pull her up too fast, man, if she ricochets off
or
this
hits
thing,
the wheels.
Yeah, whatever the case might be. And you can't really put her back down because now she's spinning.
I mean, she won a $450K settlement.
Yeah,
Did you
bro.
really?
Yeah, because basically, like he's saying, the injuries weren't that bad, and they were like, "No, we got to use the helicopter." And then I guess they forgot a line.
Oh,
that's why she was spinning, and she got more messed up from the spin and the initial injury.
Damn. What is the sound you'll never forget? 206-803-ROCK.
Yeah, that one sucks too because she got hurt. Because when you first saw it, you're like, "Whoa,
yeah, that's
crazy.
funny." Yeah, when you keep reading the article, like, oh
no, this is bad,
real bad. Hello, Luciano. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hola.
So, yeah, this Acadia one hit me. That's not what I was calling about, but yeah, I had one of the most insane days. Went to a licensing department in Rayong, Thailand, and five-story building, no elevator, no air conditioning. It was about, 100 degrees outside. It was about 122 inside the building. But what I called about, I went and visited a friend of mine in central Thailand, and he didn't tell me that he had a lovely little lizard that lived behind his entertainment center. If you don't know what a 2K lizard is, pull up some audio of it. It is loud as any animal I've ever heard in my life.
Is it like a scream? Is it a roar? What kind of sound is coming out of this lizard?
It sounds like a female being chopped up with a machete.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that sound.
Why is that a reference
I know
point?
that sound. You don't?
That's the first. Do you have any audio of that, Mike? What do you call it?
What do you
call it? It's 2K?
A 2K lizard?
Why do you think I own tarps?
Yeah,
It's just a gecko.
So that was his description.
Oh, 2K, like TOKAY, gecko.
Okay.
I thought it was 2K, like, getting seen in 4K.
I had a gecko in Africa, man. He pumped up his
neck
face.
thing?
Oh, yeah, he was not happy I was near him.
Did it make any noise?
No, he did not. He was pretty chill. It's amazing, though. Their eyes, man, they can look everywhere.
Oh, it's one of those independent ideas.
Yeah, he's got like these 3D eyes, man. They're both working different directions. He's got like the entire, whatever that is, like the movie theater.
Oh, IMAX?
IMAX, yeah. You can see
the full experience.
all the way around, man. It was nuts.
Huh.
Yeah.
But it didn't hiss or anything. It just pumped up his neck.
Yeah, that's how they show you, like, hey, I'm real tough.
Did you know that in advance, or did they explain that to you?
Oh, no, I just saw him in the bush.
Oh.
Yeah, I just took a picture, a couple videos of the guy.
Hey, you got some...
We got the 2K gecko. These are... it's basically like a mating call that it's got here. Wait for it. Just stutters.
I don't think a woman getting chopped up with a machete
Sounds like that.
would sound like that.
Where did he say he was? Thailand?
Thailand, yeah.
He was there for the beaches.
Yeah.
Like everyone.
See, I don't expect that in Thailand.
Oh, you got a message, Mike?
I got a message.
What do they want?
That is what I would expect to hear if I'm in Thailand. Just based on the other insect noises and birds in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right, man.
Yeah, I feel like Thailand's either you're in a giant city and all you hear is city noises or... Yeah.
That.
A lot of crickets.
Yeah.
That's what my daughter said. Her experience there was it's just this constant hum that kind of never goes away.
All right.
Even if it's in the monsoon season, they're still out.
All right.
So that's why there's a lot of... You go to a street fair, people are eating a lot of bugs. And popcorn bags that they roast up in like a big, like a paella pan.
Oh, what's waste not, want not, man.
But it's just a constant hum.
There's always.
Yeah, where she was anyway. She said it was like the hum was nonstop. You kind of got used to it, but she's like, when it wasn't there and you went someplace else, it was kind of weird to not have that, not white noise, but just that background noise.
Why is it? You go camping, right? You hear crickets all around you, and it's almost soothing. But if one cricket is in your home, there's nothing more grating in the world.
And as soon as you turn on the light, they shut up.
It stops. Yeah.
What is a sound that you will never forget? 206-803-ROCK.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. When that pipe starts to trickle and you're in a real pickle, call Pinky. When that burst pipe starts to smell ripe, call Pinky. When your water heater's shot and it won't get hot, call Pinky. When you get home to a flood, call your best bud. Pinky's Plumbing to the rescue. No job is too big or too small. Pinky's does it all. So when your plumbing backs up and things get stinky, call Pinky's. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
The brand new Grand Casino and Shoreline is now open. Step into the action with Vegas-style table games like Baccarat, Heads Up Hold'em Poker, Pai Gow, Blackjack, and High Card Flush. Feeling hungry? Feast on delicious Chinese, Vietnamese, and continental dishes, plus breakfast favorites. Dine in or take out. And don't miss daily happy hours from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. to midnight. Grand Casino and Shoreline off Aurora. Open daily from 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. Visit GrandCasinoGaming.com. Welcome to the Grand Experience.
Yeah, sure thing. Hey, you sold that car yet?
Yeah, sold it to Carvana.
Oh, I thought you were selling to that guy.
The guy who wanted to pay me in foreign currency, no interest, over 36 months? Yeah, no. Carvana gave me an offer in minutes, picked it up, and paid me on the spot. It was so convenient.
Just like that.
Yep.
No hassle.
None.
That is super convenient. Sell your car to Carvana and swap hassle for convenience. Pickup fees may apply.
Plug in a Hyundai EV and the extraordinary happens. From the charge time and range in the Ioniq 5 and 6 to the adventurous spirit of the Kona Electric to the 601 horsepower Ioniq 5N. Hyundai EVs make the extraordinary electrifying. There's joy in every journey.
EPA estimated 303-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 5 SE SEL limited rear-wheel drive and 361-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 6 SE long-range rear-wheel drive with fully charged battery. Actual range may vary. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Where'd you get those shoes? Easy. They're from DSW. Because DSW has the exact right shoes for whatever you're into right now. You know, like the sneakers that make office hours feel like happy hour. The boots that turn grocery aisles into runways. And all the styles that show off the many sides of you, from daydreamer to multitasker and everything in between. Because you do it all in really great shoes. Find a shoe for every you at your DSW store or DSW.com.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Pinky's Plumbing Studio, you're in the men's room. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK.
Coming up until 4:30. Return of Who Sucks Less. Right after emails on our question, what is the sound you'll never forget? 206-803-ROCK.
What does this music we're playing here?
I don't know.
Kind of like it.
If only you guys knew the number of meetings and talks that I had to have with Ryan Castle to get this music.
To get this.
What were the other selections?
What genre is this?
This is, what was it? Goofy Bed, I believe is what we...
Goofy Bed.
Goofy Bed.
All right.
This has been an entire thing. I have seen Castle pull what little hair he has left out just because of this.
This one works.
And we got this.
This is the end result.
All these meetings, all that time.
Wow. Okay.
We got that.
Was it a Google calendar meeting? What is the sound that you'll never forget? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, John. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, hola, dude.
Hola.
So this is a skateboarding injury, just to let you guys know. And so basically, I was in Alameda, California, and I was skating this park, and I was trying this trick, which was called a 5-0, which is basically like looks like a wheelie, but you grind on your back truck.
All right.
So basically, I go try, I do it, I kick out, but I notice I kick like the ground really hard and stuff, and like I hear like kind of a pop, and then kind of like a sound that sounds like you're kind of cutting through watermelon and stuff.
Okay.
So, so I'm like, I kind of was like, okay. And this is kind of like, my buddy was next to me, and he's like, oh, God. I'm like, what? Whatever. So I continue skating, and I'm like, whoa, my feet feels real funny. So I go over, sit down, I pull off my shoe, and my sock looks like, you know how like when you're painting a room, like a paint roller looks when you're like, you reapply paint?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So my sock looked like it was all blood. And then I take my sock off, and what had happened is that I kicked the ground, my big toe so hard that like I don't know, I can't remember if it's like metatarsal or something, but in my big toe, my top bone slid behind the back of my lower bone, and popped out of joint, slept back, and then pushed my bottom bone through the skin, and I had a compound toe fracture.
Oh man. Okay, a compound toe fracture.
That's not the one I hear most.
That's a different. This is different.
Yeah, it's weird and rando, but I was like, man, what was that pop? And I was like, man, what's that like sound? That like kind of like watermelon sound. And my buddy's like, oh, God. And, like, till this day, like, when we get together, like, I can't talk about it around him because he just, like, gets really squeamish and stuff.
Can you wear flip-flops now?
I can wear flip-flops, but I can't bend my toe.
Okay. Well, that's not the worst thing, I guess. I mean, if you're going to be injured to that severity, that
do you limp at all, or do you just can't bend your toe?
It's like, you know how, like, if you, like, put your toe in the sand and you're, like, kind of, like, if you want to write a letter or draw a picture or something?
Yeah.
I can't feel it, dude. At all.
Okay. All right.
What is the sound you'll never forget? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Gary. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, my brother.
Hola.
Congrats on the 20th.
Oh, thank you, bro.
Taking down one of your yellow cans right now.
Nice. There you go.
The men's room IPA.
In the bright yellow can.
From Black Raven
Brewery in Woodinville, Washington.
I was like, I ran out. That worked out. Yeah.
Go ahead, Gary.
We're going to use yours from now on.
Yeah, here we go.
All right.
So this is a family story. It I was 14 years old.
And the sound
we
my
were in
uncle
the
made
Blue
me
Mountains.
make.
What's that?
Oh, no. I was 14
Okay,
years
good.
old in West Virginia. My uncle came into my room
golly,
one
I was
night.
hunting squirrels. No.
Okay.
So I'm 14. My whole family and I were in the Blue Mountains of Eastern Oregon hunting high buck, mule deer. So we're over there our second night. We're sitting around a campfire, and we're kind of chuckling, doing what we do. I have two younger brothers. One's a stepbrother, two younger, a biological brother, and my little 1-year-old sister, and my mom and my stepfather.
All right.
So we're kind of chuckling, getting ready to go to bed. It's night. The fire's burned. We think we smell this weird odor, and we think, aha, the dog, he done his thing, because dogs do that. They make stinks sometimes.
They do that, yeah.
Most animals do.
Yeah. But the dog did this, we thought. Immediately we smelt that. The dog went straight to the camper and started whining. And we're like, okay, there's something wrong with the dog. Next thing we do, we hear this banshee-like scream is all I can describe it. It is like the hair curling on the back of your neck, creepy sound. And we all look at each other, and now we know why the dog's freaking. So we kind of look around, and, we're hunting. So I have a 30-30, and my dad has a 30-06. We freak. We hear another one, and it's a different location. So we scramble to the camper, all of us. Of course, the dog was first, brave German Shepherd that he was. And then we sat in there for the rest of the night, my dad and I, with our rifles pointed at the door, freaking out.
So now, did the dog actually poop?
No, it wasn't the dog.
What was it?
The dog smelt it before us. That's why he headed for the door, and then we smelt it, and it was like, look, the dog, he's going to poop himself. Why is he heading for the camper? Then the scream.
What was the source of the smell?
Well, we think it was the scream.
Whatever was screaming was responsible for the smell.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So we believe it was a Sasquatch, a Bigfoot. And I'm not crazy either. Trust me.
Maybe he had.
I've never heard anything like that before.
They are
Never in my
notoriously
life. Again.
stinky.
Yeah, and
They're
maybe
notoriously stinky and notoriously loud.
also lactose intolerant. He might have had some dairy or ice cream before he farted, and the wind came through the place.
Now, didn't we find out that, if you end up face to face with Bigfoot, isn't it, I believe, in Washington State, illegal to shoot his ass?
Yeah, you're not allowed to shoot them. I was 14. I'm 65 now. So back then, they were still, the big Bigfoot thing was going on, the big fake movie and all that crud. But there was, my mother had this clipping from a newspaper from Eastern Oregon Bend area. That's where it was, in that area, that a deputy that night actually saw something on the road, and it turned and looked at him, and as it did that, it brushed against a stop sign and disappeared. And that was in the deputy's report. So it's one of those newspaper clippings where
I got you, man.
We didn't have the internet back then.
Now we know. And that movie was Harry and the Hendersons.
I'm telling you right now, I know it's illegal to shoot a Bigfoot. If I have a gun and I see a Bigfoot and he seems angry, if he's bum rushing me, I'm telling you right now, I'm breaking the law. Not because I want to shoot a Bigfoot. It's just I have a gun and Bigfoot's rushing at me.
Yep.
Yeah.
And even then,
what do you think? I think you have a better chance of seeing a Bigfoot than I do picture you out in the woods with a weapon.
That's why. If I bump into Bigfoot, we are downtown, or he showed up at the bar.
Why is it now?
Yeah, and it's no offense, but of all the things,
no, you're right.
You, I just wouldn't picture you with a weapon. Wait a minute, why did you have a gun on?
Well, every day's a different UFO picture. Right. I looked at another one today, right? So why no Bigfoot pictures?
Because UFOs are real. In my opinion. UFOs are real, right? It still always says that it's an unidentified flying object.
What is it? We don't know.
But I do think aliens have been here.
Yeah, but no Bigfoot.
I mean, look, then if he's out there, I would not want to interact with people either, right?
Maybe he's dead.
And then, they always said there's more than one.
Sure.
Or it's one Bigfoot who travels across the country. You never know.
For 100 years.
What a lame-ass life.
What's that?
I'm just going to walk across the country and just take blurry-ass photos.
Yeah, exactly.
And why?
He
Doesn't do anything.
No, never steals anything, never dumpster dives, never eats out of somebody's trash.
just walking through the
No,
woods.
he just eats fine.
He might have some decorum. Like,
to the
eating
Pacific Northwest
trash
Trail.
is beneath me.
Every animal eats trash. Bears get into trash. That's why they have those
Bald
trash
eagles?
cans. Yeah.
Do you eat trash?
I
have eaten trash.
You
Yes.
have eaten trash, yes.
I mean, I picked up.
I mean, we've all eaten trash, but I mean, it's a regular
I'm
source
saying,
of diet.
like, that's where you see. He never seen with his legs hanging out of a dumpster, stuck. Like he falls asleep in there, and then he falls into the truck in the morning when they dump and empty.
Also, why would he pick the Northwest and then Arkansas?
Yeah, that's what I don't get. That because Arkansas, seriously, that seems to be like the other state.
That's the other, like,
behind
epicenter.
Bigfoot.
It's his summer home.
His summer home.
He just summers in Arkansas.
Seems like he
Well-
made winters there.
Do you think
Later there, man.
the
He's a
Arkansas Bigfoot also is wearing overalls?
Well, there's a correlation of
That's
methamphetamine.
just what I pictured.
There is a methamphetamine correlation, so obviously Bigfoot likes those areas.
Yeah.
Because it seems like
That's
the people
true.
who see him, maybe a little methamphetamine.
Well, the
going
Arkansas
on.
one, you don't have to worry about him. He can't bite you.
He's got no
Plus,
teeth.
like our caller yesterday, after you've been up for 8 days, you know,
I saw Bigfoot.
I bet you did. Maritime Avenue
Well,
was
that guy's
closed.
story was already a little off the rails.
Ah, crap.
A little bit.
But,
Well,
you
they-
know, he's not crazy.
No, he's not. The only thing I can
he's
think about at the
fine.
beginning of it, his mom likes sex.
Yeah.
Step brother, step sister, biological brother, biological sister,
Both my
1 month
fathers.
old. It's like, wow, man.
Paints a picture.
Busy family.
In great detail.
Tenno's
He
gonna
really does.
Tenno's gonna tell
But
you.
when he's done, you look at the picture and you say, "What is that?"
What actually is that?
That's all.
So it's really funny.
You put the effort in, but we're not tracking. Brother.
Ted, I've told you the story before, but it was 1989, I think. So we're playing in the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. This is before the Jacksonville Jaguars had been in the NFL. So this is an old stadium. Typically, they would just play like Georgia and Florida in it or something like that.
I would imagine that's basically what it was for, and then high school.
Yeah, but it was the bleachers were aluminum, and some of the just the grandstands themselves were aluminum as well. So when people stomped on the ground,
Oh,
it was a
right.
huge echo in this place. I mean, it was a loud stadium. It was also a bigger stadium, probably at least 60,000 people, if not more. And we're playing Clemson. So I did not realize the proximity that South Carolina to Jacksonville. It's a much easier drive than coming from West Virginia.
Absolutely.
So basically, there are so many Clemson fans down there. You know,
I tell everybody, Jacksonville is deep Georgia. That is
Yes.
not Florida as
Yeah.
you think of Florida.
It's a home game for them, essentially. So, you know, when we look out, it's so much orange that it's insane. Right. And so the band does their thing, and they go out and, you know, there's two bands, actually. You know, both schools get to represent. So they do kind of a longer intro pregame show. They're all going to go out at halftime, blah, 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 blah. Band goes out, does their thing. All right, so the specialists are the kicker, the punter, the snappers, and the return people.
Yeah.
All right? So punt, return, receiver, the center, the long snapper. You are one of 6 people.
Yeah.
All right? That run out on the field. Now, the band just cleared off the field, and they're still doing that thing where they're kind of single file line shuttling up to the sections that they're in. So there's still some guys on the field, but they're all off to the side. And we are the first specialist group to come out on the field because Clemson hasn't come out yet. They're supposed to go out, but we know our place. We know we're running to the 50-yard line. We're going to kick into the end zone. The punters are coming out. The kickers go to the goalpost. They kick toward the goalpost. Punters come out the end zone. Blah 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 blah. We run out on the middle of the field. We are the first 6 people out on the field. The entire place explodes in booze. I mean, raining down. It was so loud from every angle. And then when we got into the end zone, it got louder.
Yeah.
And all these people booing, throwing crap, man. And it was so intense because we're the only 6 or 7 people on the field. To be booed by that, we're kickers. Like, you know, it's not really
Right.
not really the quarterback or anything.
Most people don't boo the kicker.
But to be booed by that many people was a bigger rush than, you know, being cheered. For whatever reason. You were just like pumped up now. Like, wow, this is going down.
It's funny. My brother says that. He said so he's like, look, it's part of my job as a referee. You're going to get boos. You also get equal cheers, right? It just depends where you're playing and if the flag is on. All right. So he's like, that's the normal thing. But they never cheer for you. They're cheering for the call. But when they boo the call, they're also booing you, right? So you as a referee or an official, they're never cheering for you, all right? So You remember the lockout right after 9/11, right? Because everyone says they went on strike. They were not on strike. The NFL locked them out. And then the Fail Mary that happened here, remember that? That's when the NFL, even though the NFL says that had nothing to do at all with why we brought the officials back. It had everything to do with why they brought the officials back. So he goes, they bring us back.
That was what? Was that the Green Bay game? Is that what
it was? Green Bay
okay,
against Seattle. Okay. It was here. And I don't remember the entire play, but they called it the Fail Mary. May have even been a Monday night game, but basically that was the last game that they did with the backup officials because it's just a different world. So my brother's not a ref yet. He's just one of the officials, but they bring him back, and I don't remember where his first game was back, but he said this was the first and only time ever that they actually announced us by name and had us run out of the tunnel. And he said, the place goes crazy, right? They are super happy to have you back because as much as people bitch about officials, when you actually have bad officials or unqualified officials doing something, you realize how good these guys actually are. And look, they F up, they get it, but he said, so, they introduce him by name. It was like, and it's weird because they never do that, but they did this in this 1 week. It's like, man, I go running out there, and it's like, it felt really good. It's about 2 minutes into the game. We make our first call. Well, it's against the home team. Boom! Right back to where it was. It's like, so for 2 minutes, we felt good about ourselves. We call our first, holding call, whatever the hell it was. And it's like, just the booze came back, but he said, and it was almost refreshing. Like, things felt normal. I'm like, really? He goes, it's not normal for them to cheer.
You get a much bigger...
But when they boo you, he's like, we're back, baby.
You get a much better adrenaline rush, with the booze. So we start kicking and booming the ball. Because we're fired up. Everybody's jumping up and down, and, you're getting loose, and it's warm down there. The ball's traveling better.
Real fired up.
And my second, and keep in mind, these are all brand new balls specifically for the Gator Bowl. They are shiny. They are waxy.
Yeah.
They have the emblem on them. They just get out of the box. They're hard as hell to kick. Okay, I'll just be honest. They're hard to grip. They're brand new footballs. So I bang the first one, then I bang the second one. Coach Nealon's behind us in the end zone, watching everything go down. He's watching the kicks come through to figure out the distance on the kicking game as far as what is his length, what's Brad's length. I kick this ball, man, and it goes off the side of my foot. And when I say it goes off the side of my foot, it goes off the side of my foot, but with a sideways spiral.
Oh, geez.
It's just this waxy ball. I slip when I drop it, it's nose down. It goes off. It maybe goes 15 feet to the right. But it's flying into the stands. And it's a brand new ball. And Nealon just watches it. And this guy from Clemson reaches up and grabs it. And the entire section just starts cheering, right? And Nealon looks at me and goes, Christ, Montgomery, I could piss farther than that. He's like, that's a brand new ball. He's like, we signed those, give them to charities at the end of the year. He's like, now the Clemson guys got their ball. God damn it, Montgomery.
Did you even think about trying to get it?
Hell no.
Man, you're going to send the West Virginia guy up to the Clemson say, can I get my ball back?
I can imagine the coach being like, Montgomery, you got to go get that ball. And be like, no, coach.
He never raised his voice. He was one of those shucks guys.
Yeah.
He never cussed.
Right.
Christ, Montgomery, I could piss farther than that. It's the first time I've heard him, even remotely cuss.
Right.
My bad.
My bad.
Who Sucks Last is coming up at 4:30. Your email's coming up next in the men's room at KISW.com.
Hiring is a lonely business. Posting jobs, sifting through resumes, interviews with unqualified applicants, being ghosted. What if you could link with dozens of qualified candidates who are ready to work right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, the workforce you need. Problem solved. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Is your team at work feeling a little disconnected? Maybe the workflow's not flowing? Try Confluence by Atlassian. Confluence is the connected workspace where teams can create, organize, and deliver work like never before. In Confluence, teams can whiteboard their vision for any project, easily create or access the relevant pages and resources they need, and discover important context they might not even know they need. Plus, AI helps teams jumpstart brainstorms, organize information, and connect workflows, so teams can move efficiently and create alignment with ease. In fact, with Confluence, teams can see 5.2% average boost in productivity in 1 year. So if your team lacks confidence, try Confluence, the connected workspace where teams can do it all. Set knowledge free with Confluence. Learn more at Atlassian.com/confluence. That's Atlassian.com/CONFLUENCE.
Ugh, your clothes are too tight, yet you can't lose weight even though you've tried so many diets. The reason you're having trouble losing weight could be a liver clogged with fat, and that is slowing your metabolism. Introducing Omicid, a natural superfood protein shake that uses natural amino acids and bioactive peptides to help unclog your liver and optimize your metabolism so it's easier to lose weight, and it's been scientifically proven to preserve muscle mass. Find out more and see the university studies at Omicid.com. That's ALMASED.com.
Auto insurance rates are on the rise, which is why you should call Vern Fonk Insurance. Vern Fonk could save you up to 20% on your auto insurance. The pros at Vern Fonk will do all the work, comparing different plans to find you the best options. And they can insure you over the phone. One call to Vern Fonk could save you up to 20%. Call 206-408-5094. 206-408-5094.
Remember to honk when you drive by Vern Fonk.
Restrictions apply based on a Q3 2023 study of Vern Fonk Insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number 1070622.
If you have health insurance, you might be able to see a personal dietitian for $0 out of pocket. Nourish connects you with a dietitian that fits your needs, covered by your insurance. Nourish accepts hundreds of insurance plans, and 94% of patients pay $0 out of pocket. Meet with your dietitian online and message them anytime through the Nourish app. With hundreds of 5-star reviews from real patients, you know you're in good hands. Find your dietitian at usenourish.com. That's usenourish.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With nonstop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation by offering comfortable and spacious cabins. Fly the striped way. Visit Condor.com today.
Are you a bartender that dreads the phrase, "Hey, can you put the game on?" At Sports on What, we understand your pain and we're here to help. Over-the-air, satellite, cable, or streaming, Sports on What knows what channel the game is on, and you can too. Follow your favorite teams, set alerts, and filter by provider to get the results you need. Stop wasting time searching and never miss kickoff again. Just download the Sports on What app, and you'll always know how to watch the game. Available for Android and iOS. Start your 7-day free trial when you download Sports on What and subscribe today. 99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Return of Who Sucks Less is on the way at 4:30, but first time for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
A couple of the noise you'll never forget, guys. I'll never forget the sound of an armored truck going head-on with a passenger car on the busy highway right in front of my house. Ooh. Car completely mangled. It was awful. That from Christopher. Guys, years ago, when I was a teenager, I was walking home from someplace along a 40 miles per hour zone on a busy road in my hometown, and I watched as a car takes a bird strike on the windshield. Now, the blackbird bounced on the sidewalk.
Watch it, brother.
Convulsed for a moment, and then let out this pitiful, prolonged chirp that descended in pitch about a full octave as the bird went to meet its creator. Sort of the avian equivalent of unplugging a record player, I suppose. I looked at it, and I think I considered that this was the first I'd ever seen anything like that, and just continued home. That from Dennis. We were outside smoking a cigarette maybe last year.
I think it was last summer, maybe.
It was a sunny day, and the way the reflection was on the building, outside smoking, man, we heard a thud. I mean, it was a boom. We're like, what in the hell? Then all of a sudden, pigeon just drops probably 30 feet from where it hit the side
Here's
of the building.
thing. Pigeon crap hit the ground first. Then the pigeon hit the ground.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man. And I'm pretty sure I'm the last thing it saw because we walked over, like its neck was kind of broken or something. And it's looking at me, and we're just like, man, you okay? And then his eye just closed. I'm like, you are not okay.
But the imprint of this bird was on the building for at least 8 months.
Oh, yeah.
You could look up there at any time. It was like this just powdery outline of wings spread out.
It was like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. It was.
And it was, we just got there and looked like, yeah, still
there, man.
Rain didn't wash it off. It's still there. The memory of that thing. And then we go down on our next smoke break, and seagulls are just ripping the sky apart.
I mean, brutally.
Quickly. And then we go down there the third time, and that bird is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, completely cleaned away. It's somewhere else. All right, on to the birthdays, guys. My nephew Aiden turns 15 today. Can I get Mike Hawk doing his Betty Baby Butter routine in his Ringo Starr voice? Oh. Since he lives in New Jersey, maybe Ted and Thrill as the New Jersey Italians telling him what he should do down the shore for his 15th year. Rock on, guys. That from Knick Knack.
Betty bought some butter, but she said this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it'll make my batter bitter. So she bought a bit of butter. Put it in a bit of batter, made a bit of batter better. So it is better. Betty bought a bit of better butter.
Yeah. You're in Jersey now, you're 15. Do what all the 15-year-olds do, man. Put some oil in your chest hairs.
Oh, hey, going down to the shore, huh? First things you want to do is hit the boardwalk, all right? That's where the girls your ages are. Go to the arcade. Buy up some garlic knots. After that...
Garlic knots?
Hey, you never been to the shore?
Yeah.
That's what you do, man. You get garlic knots. You sit there in the sun. You let them sweat down your petty little fingers. Is this The Godfather?
It is. Well, he said Italian, so I figured, yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's deep reference.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah.
I always thought it's more of our impression of, like, GTO.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Fellas.
GTL.
GTL. The lifestyle. My beautiful daughter, Jordan, turns 15 years old today, another 15-year-old. Her mother passed when she was 2, and it's been her and I ever since. And I couldn't be more proud of her. We listen to your show every afternoon on the way to her basketball practice. She just got bumped up to varsity as a freshman. That is a big deal.
Damn.
Nice.
Could Coach Ted give her some advice about playing with upperclassmen? Miles, any dad jokes would be appreciated. And Thrill, anything inappropriate to make the car ride awkward. Thanks, bitches. Love you guys. Happy birthday, sweetie. From the proudest dad in the world. Also, the instructor of the class that beat Miggs this morning.
All right, first of all, congratulations. Getting caught up to varsity as a freshman is a big deal. Number 1, the girls are going to be bigger, all right? Older. Don't let that stop your aggression. Number 2, you are a freshman. I wouldn't expect too much playing time. So what we got to do is learn the system. Learn the system, know how to run that offense. You get in as a sophomore, who knows? You might get a starting spot.
Okay. Dad jokes for a 15-year-old. Yeah. I had to pull ones that I didn't have in the rotation.
It's a PSA. I don't know that people should send in happy birthdays for 15-year-olds.
Why do teenage girls travel in odd-numbered groups? Why do teenage girls travel in odd-numbered groups?
Why?
Because they can't even.
Oh, all right.
Why did Adele cross the road? Why did Adele cross the road?
To say hello from the other side?
That is correct, yes. Where can you learn to make ice cream? Where do you learn to make ice cream?
I don't know.
At the dairy?
Sunday school. And why can't you give Elsa a balloon? Why can't you give Elsa a balloon?
Because she'll just let it go.
That's right.
Good work.
All right, listen, man, you're 15 years old now. Don't even wonder about it anymore. Don't even ask if this is true. Yes, every boy who's 15 has an erection all the time. It's a fact of life.
Gentlemen, it's our son Ethan's 16th birthday. Can he get a reverse fart and Coach Ted with some inspiration? Thanks, fellas. Lots of love that from Mom and from Dad.
All right, general 16th birthday information. First of all, don't drive around the car with your friends in it, all right? They're going to be loud. They're going to be annoying. I'm not even sure you're legally allowed to. Second of all, no text message is worth looking at while you're driving. Trust me. If you need to, hook it up to your car. I'm sure the car you're getting from your dad or mom's already smart enough. It can read the text message out loud, and you can talk to it. But just be careful on the road, son.
Guys, here we go again. Another trip around the sun and another birthday shout-out request, but this time I hope it happens. In the past, I've been screwed over by the 50th anniversary show, as well as some days off from you guys. It's probably been about 5 years now. So this year, I would like, if you will, a pep talk from Coach Ted about aging gracefully, 5 random drops from Mike, shotgun gets from Thrill, and some dad jokes from Miles. And if you have any jokes that are not radio-friendly, just email them to me. Thanks so much. That from the infamous Joe Dredd, who turns 64 years old today.
Wow.
You like that?
I mean, Joe, I'll be dead honest with you. I could give you some advice on aging gracefully, but last time I saw you, you look great. So, I think you're doing a good job. I don't know what you've been up to, but looks good on you, brother.
Holy Jay.
Damn.
Get.
Please clap.
Get.
Okay.
I take it.
Did anyone lose their Rolex?
No.
No.
No problem. It's 4:31. Guys, I finally got time to trim that big bush in the backyard today.
Oh, yeah?
Really makes my deck look bigger.
That's plain.
When a fly flies through a fart, do you think they feel the same way we do when a waiter walks by with fajitas? What is the difference between in-laws and outlaws?
Outlaws are wanted.
That is correct.
Oh.
What did the Eagles do after winning the Super Bowl?
Celebrate it.
Now they played the second half.
That was boring.
And finally, why do you never make fun of a larger person who has a lisp? Why do you never make fun of a big person with a lisp?
Why?
Because they are thick and tired of it.
I thought they might fit on you.
All right, guys, here you go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Now, the men's room wants to know who sucks last?
Hey, time for Who Sucks Last. Stephen Thrill, who you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They always suck, but it's up to us to determine out of the 3 stories which one sucks the least. Now, if you like KISW on Facebook, X, or Instagram, the debate is already underway on Who Sucks Less.
Well, like I said, at the top of the show, of the 3 stories, we have 2 frauds and 1 peekaboo. Let's start with fraud number 1. Where last summer, a transit system cleaner, this is in New York City, a transit system cleaner, he was so desperate for a vacation, he lied about getting slashed on the job, going so far as to cut his own hands to try to sell the ruse. The suspect, when Henry Herring, he said, quote, "My goal was to have the summer off because it was too hot down there." Now, Herring, who was hired as a transit cleaner last year and has since been suspended without pay by the MTA, he was arrested on a charge of falsely reporting an incident. See, he told cops that he was attacked at the 179th Street subway station shortly after 3 a.m. that morning. He claimed that he was cleaning a train car when he was pushed from behind by an unknown male, and that stranger swung a, quote, cutting instrument at him, leaving cuts on both hands. But surveillance video from the station helped, well, to catch Herring red-handed. That's when he admitted, quote, "When I went into the room, I found something there to cut myself. I apologize for wasting everyone's time. I did not know there were cameras on the platform." That's what I like about that. He's apologizing, but he's also pointing out, I didn't know there were cameras. Meanwhile, the MTA says, look, assaults on employees, it's a real issue. And NYPD, they made real progress in identifying and capturing perpetrators. With this alleged case, this is beyond disappointing. Pulling resources from investigations of actual crimes while undermining confidence in the safety of the transit system. So that's number one. Slash his hands. Wanted to get the summer off. Here's number two, an Indiana woman who garnered public sympathy for her ill daughter. Yeah, she was caught lying about the true nature of the girl's condition. So, Katherine Jackson, she was charged by prosecutors with felony neglect and fraud. She'd appeared on television in the past, and she raised awareness and saw gifts for her young daughter, who had what Jackson claimed was a terminal genetic disorder. Now, while the daughter had a genetic condition, it was chronic, not terminal. And investigators who worked on the case, they also accused Jackson of neglecting to refill medications that were prescribed for her daughter. So going back for several years, Jackson made several false claims about her young daughter having a genetic condition called Pilarowski-Bjornsson. I'm sure I said that wrong. As well as an additional disease known as Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. Now, the symptom LGS, Jackson claimed on a GoFundMe page, caused her daughter to experience 80 to 90 seizures per day. And seizures can be a symptom of it. Now, the GoFundMe page, which was first posted in July of 2021, stated that the then 5-year-old had only 6 months to a year to live, and that it was her dream to go to Disney World. Well, her story, naturally, got the attention of Make-A-Wish Foundation, as well as local TV stations, which ran the story about the child's illness about a year later. And, of course, that's when she got her trip to Disney World. Now, court documents stated that while the girl was confirmed to have one of the diseases, Jackson misrepresented the nature of disease. Again, it's not terminal, it's chronic. But she does need medications, but she was not being given the medication in spite of the fact that the doctors had been prescribing it. And luckily, for about 3 weeks after her story took off, they actually had to go to the hospital. And that's when doctors suspected there was medical abuse going on. Basically, not giving the girl the medication they prescribed. Anyway, doctors discovered that the mom was not refilling the medications that were being prescribed for the daughter. And following that hospital visit, Jackson's other two children, who were ages 5 and 6 at the time, were all put in foster care. And the foster parents reportedly told authorities that neither child was potty trained or in 5 and 6 years old. Wow. Anyway, she was charged with 1 count of fraud, 2 counts of neglect of a dependent. All charges are felonies. Lovely, lovely human being. And now we go to Rhode Island, where a convicted sex offender is facing a video voyeurism charge after he flew a drone to peek into the bathroom window of a female neighbor. So investigators say 32-year-old Stephanie Marola, she was preparing to take a shower in her residence when she heard a buzzing sound outside of the bathroom window. When she went outside to investigate, she spotted a drone hovering near the window. Now, as she approached the drone, it began to fly away, but it got stuck on a tree branch and then fell to the ground. So she grabbed the drone, dunked it in her pool, which disabled all the electronics. So she lives with her 3-year-old daughter. She called 911 to report the remote peeping Tom, if you will. Well, subsequent police investigation resulted in the arrest of Christopher Jones, whose home, what he shares with the 72-year-old mother, is directly next door to this woman's property. Now, while cops did not reveal how the defendant was linked to the drone, they say that Jones admitted that he was, in fact, the operator. Now, he was arraigned on a felony video voyeurism charge and subsequently released from police custody. As cops point out, even though he's a convicted sex offender, his requirement to register with state officials expired in 2015. Okay, so that's the rub on that. He's a convicted sex offender, but he hasn't had to register. So you end up getting kind of a lesser charge, I guess, as I go. So once again, we got the 2 frauds. We have the MTA worker up in New York who actually slashed his own hands, called the cops because he wanted the summer off from work. We have the woman in Indiana who's been lying about the medical condition of her daughter, who does have a medical condition. It's just not as extreme as she said. And she's been neglecting her other 2 children as well. Right. And finally, Peeping Tom in Rhode Island. Okay. Who's not very good at flying drones.
I'm going to say the mom sucks the most in this instance. Not taking care of her kids and not potty trained. Obviously, if those are just that's the tip of the iceberg. There's more.
Yeah, the foster parents are like, oh, we don't know anything about it. I'm just saying they're 5 and 6, and neither one is potty trained.
Okay, now as far as who sucks the least, now the woman in was it New Jersey with the drone?
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. She has to live by that guy,
right? He's a creep, obviously. And she has a daughter. And, thank God that she was able to get that drone that crashed. Thank God he's not good at handling a drone.
I got to go with the guy that just inflicted the crap on himself up in New York.
I agree.
Trying to get the summer off. Granted, he was trying to, commit fraud, but
sure.
He's the one who injured himself. He got busted. He is a moron. So out of the 3 stories, I'm going to say he sucks the least in.
Yeah, the mom just sucks here.
Yeah, completely.
That's pretty easy. The guy was flying the drone, but he hasn't made contact with the daughter or anything, right?
He's not no, and keep in mind, he wanted to see mom, not the daughter.
Okay.
Because mom was about to shower, and she heard the drone outside of the bathroom window because, they make noise. She lives there with her 3-year-old daughter, but his goal was to see an adult, at least.
I mean, my only tough thing here, because Miles, I kind of agree with you, but also it's like, then the people in that state would have had to pay for basically this idiot to have the summer off.
He'd have the summer off, right.
But I also get, it was in New York?
Yes.
I mean, hell, the summer's off, great. Take the train down to the shore like we were just talking about. It's like, you can't get too mad at him.
But why your hands? Because you're going to need those. I don't know how bad he cut himself. Because, look, all you have to do, you can do a minor cut on each hand. All you have to do is tell the cops someone else did this. And they're still going to investigate it, right?
Right, and you'd get off for trauma and stuff.
All the crap, right.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll say he sucks the least. Wasn't well thought out, but decent plan.
I was like, hey, man, I'm really sorry. I didn't know there were cameras there. Like, that's your apology?
I mean, did you?
Yeah, basically that's what he said.
And how could you work there and not know there's cameras there?
It's the subway system of New York City, dumbass.
Debate continues on Who Sucks Less if you like KISW on Facebook, X, and on Instagram. Shot of the Day is coming up at 5:08. You are listening to The Men's Room.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. You know what's sneaky? A bunch of big corporations buying up local companies you know and love, gutting them, and keeping the name. But you know who's not a sellout? Pinky's Plumbing. That's right. Pinky's Plumbing's values start with their work ethic, honesty, how they treat their employees, and how they care for their customers. Bigger isn't always better, and that's a fact. You should know you're working with a locally owned company that truly values where they live and work. Pinky's Plumbing. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
Yeah, sure thing. Hey, you sold that car yet?
Yeah, sold it to Carvana.
Oh, I thought you were selling to that guy.
The guy who wanted to pay me in foreign currency, no interest, over 36 months? Yeah, no. Carvana gave me an offer in minutes, picked it up, and paid me on the spot. It was so convenient.
Just like that.
Yeah?
No hassle.
None.
That is super convenient.
Sell your car to Carvana and swap hassle for convenience. Pickup fees may apply.
Hiring is a lonely business. Posting jobs, sifting through resumes, interviews with unqualified applicants, being ghosted. What if you could link with dozens of qualified candidates who are ready to work right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, the workforce you need. Problem solved. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
Where'd you get those shoes? Easy. They're from DSW. Because DSW has the exact right shoes for whatever you're into right now. You know, like the sneakers that make office hours feel like happy hour. The boots that turn grocery aisles into runways. And all the styles that show off the many sides of you, from daydreamer to multitasker and everything in between. Because you do it all in really great shoes. Find a shoe for every you at your DSW store or DSW.com.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up here at 5:08, we will drink and toast with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check out with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Thank you, Miles. Japan's annual Naked Festival was recently conducted, bringing in nearly 8,000 attendees, all trying to get their hands on the Lucky Man.
Aren't they, like, all dudes?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
So someone is crowned Lucky Man?
The Lucky Man. And he runs in amongst this crowd. And the belief is that he's going to take away all the bad luck and all the hardship and whatnot for the year, for the most part. And he's going to take it away with him. So you have to touch him.
You got to be naked.
You got to touch him while he's in the crowd.
I'm going to sign up to be your Lucky Man. Touch me.
That is a weird one.
Here's that sign-up sheet. Hey,
but no ladies allowed.
I don't believe so. Well, and I believe it was this time last year when they were talking about it that I think they finally let in like 2 or 3 women.
That's probably not good. Let everybody in or no?
Well, they're in loincloths too.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
So you think it's like jury duty? Like, hey man, I'm Lucky Man this year.
I'm lucky guy.
Be weird.
Gonna get a lot of slaps on my back.
It feels like that's just somebody's kink.
Whoever came up with this probably the thing. Like, let's get 8,000 men naked together,
and they have to touch me.
Yeah. And go.
Not sexually. They just put a hand on me and they get good luck.
I'm lucky.
Yeah, let's not make it weird.
I'm gonna take all their bad luck with me.
Yeah.
Dude, I used to know a guy named Lucky who unfortunately passed away in a motorcycle accident.
That's an odd name.
You wouldn't want to be touching Lucky. He was a nice dude, but he was a monster of a man. Like, I just feel like, yeah.
What's the attitude?
Yeah. Dude, you met him before years ago. He was always working a doorbell at the stadiums, but like, nice guy. But like, you never wanted to mess with that dude. I can't imagine being like, hey, me, Miles, and Mike are going to touch you.
Good luck.
Get out of here, Ted.
Some influencers saying they found the secret to love: dating yourself.
I read that. That's called being lonely and striking out.
Yeah, well,
not loving yourself, but they were. So the thing that I read, they were like, obviously love yourself, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, so I take myself out on dates.
Right.
That's where I was like,
I went to a concert by myself.
Yeah, look, and that's fine.
Yeah,
it's going to a concert.
Right. But no, it's a date.
Oh.
I'm dating myself, you see.
And that's the whole thing, is that you get yourself dressed up for yourself, and then you take yourself out to a nice restaurant, and you order yourself the nice drink and the nice food.
So if I'm dating myself, all right, and I go to the nice restaurant, and this smoke show off woman hits on me, do I say, I'm sorry, I'm here with somebody.
Sorry, I'm on a date.
With me. Because that would scare her away, yeah.
You should. Honestly, I believe that's what the principle is.
I'd be like, hey, me, we're about to cheat on me.
But they're screwing up the point of what it is. We've been taught our entire lives that you got to love yourself before you can expect someone to love you. That doesn't mean you just give yourself all the nice things. That means you actually have to be somebody that's respectable, and you want to respect yourself.
Now, this is how you reward yourself.
Correct.
I'm buying these things for me because I love me.
Right. Damn.
I mean, I went to a lot of shows and events by myself. I never thought I was dating myself.
You were dating yourself.
Right.
You did marry yourself.
Well, it's
all things being equal.
Yeah, somebody reminded me that anniversary's coming up.
How many years is it now?
They said it was 07, so we got a couple years to play it.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, you're coming up on 20.
Yeah.
At a boy, Ted.
Way to get yourself.
Maybe you can redo your vows.
We could. I could. I got to talk to Ted. He's become a real bear at home lately. Seriously. I mean, the years have not been kind.
No. It's all homely. He grew out his beard.
We're in 2 goddamn separate rooms. I haven't had sex in months. God forbid a mouth hug.
God knows you've tried.
Anything. I guess we'll go to Europe or something. Yeah.
Here's some flowers for Valentine's Day.
God damn, somebody hit that with me today. They're like, you should go by, we'll hang out. Like, don't sweat it that it's Valentine's Day. And I was like, Valentine's Day is Friday?
I already said the same thing.
Jesus.
I forgot.
I just learned that this morning.
Yeah,
Sarah from the morning show.
Because
What
Sarah
do you do on
loves
Friday?
everything.
I'm like,
Miles, you don't got to sweat it.
what do you do on Friday? Like, I'm not doing anything on Friday. It's a 3-day weekend. Throwing down. It's like, it's Valentine's. I'm like, that did not even dawn on me.
Yeah, leave that up to Mike and Thrill.
There you go.
We already talked, man. My wife's like, look, I know you don't care. I said, I don't. I love you, man, but I just, this day is so stupid. So, and I said, just the point of going to restaurants that night to me is the worst idea ever. So she said, I'll tell you what, when all this nonsense is done, because we didn't go out for her birthday. We haven't done a birthday. So she said, you can take me out for my birthday dinner. And I said, I'm sorry, baby. If that ship has sailed, we can go for a Valentine's dinner. And then next year we'll do 2 birthday dinners. But the window on your birthday dinner is now passed. So if we go for a nice dinner, but if we get the St. Patty's Day and we haven't done it, it's the St. Patty's Day dinner.
Just do it Saturday.
It's cheaper to be married than date yourself.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that's fact.
Maybe I should take myself out for a nice dinner Friday.
Boy.
Don't do it Friday, dude.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a bad look.
That's just
table for one on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Oh, you took yourself to the bar, did you?
Give me 2 drinks anyway.
Yeah. One for me and one for me.
Drinking for 2 tonight.
I Ubered. It's good.
There's a BBC article. There's a BBC article detailing why a product being natural doesn't necessarily make it better.
No, it doesn't mean it's natural.
Correct.
And natural is a broad term.
That's exactly
if I put
right.
toenails in your Kool-Aid, like, oh, it's all natural.
That's correct. And that's kind of their point. They said nature doesn't have intent. When you're doing something to be healthy, you are trying to intentionally make yourself happy.
Sure.
Nature does not have that intent. Arsenic, cyanide,
all
asbestos,
natural.
all of it's all natural, and it will kill you.
Yes. Mercury.
Don't
Completely
buy organic cleaning products. That's the one. Why do all that work and nothing really gets clean? You know?
So my mother always says,
you're going to go chemicals, man. That's where you go chemicals.
well, we had bad ants, right? So my wife's like, hey, man, I got this organic whatever. And, like, it didn't work. So I'm saying this to my mother, like, man, we dropped, like, an extra $6 or whatever it be on this stuff. She said, oh, God, you know why it doesn't work? I'm like, why? She's like, there's no chemicals in it. It's like, you're trying to kill things. Right. She's like, if your intent is to kill, why are you trying to be nice?
Right.
She's like, firebomb those sons of bitches. She's like, or just live with ants. But it's like, why are you trying to be nice if your intent is to kill all of the ants?
Lysol does not politely request that the bacteria remove itself from the surface. It kills 99% of bacteria.
You ever try like the all natural deodorants?
Yeah, you smell.
Yeah, lemongrass. Like I was putting this lemongrass stuff on like 4 times a day, and I was like, this just isn't worth it.
No.
Yeah.
I started breaking out. Like, it was actually causing a rash on my armpits. My deodorant, yeah, I used a natural one, and it sucked.
Just your body's like, I do not know what this is.
Right. It just rejected it. Like, doggone it.
Does your wife buy the organic stuff?
For her. Mikey buys his own stuff.
Yeah.
That's why Mikey smells clean and not like a fart.
Right. A fart. All natural.
That's right. All natural.
100% natural.
Yeah, just, aromatherapy in the house.
Spreaded some naturalness earlier today in the office, and I'm like, it might be all natural, but I don't like it.
That's right. It's all natural to just not bathe yourself. Yet, here we are.
That's a good point.
Put on some doggone deodorant. Gen Z is bringing goth back.
Did it go somewhere?
I think it just kind of went out of style for a hot minute there, but I think it's like back now.
No, but wait. So with something like goth, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it never goes away. You just kind of age out of it. You know,
Are you saying it's a phase, Steve?
Not necessarily a phase, but one of those deals where it's like, hey, at some point you have to get a job.
Right.
And depending on the job, you don't have to not look gothy, but certain jobs, like, we don't accept this look.
Correct.
So you're a goth at heart, but it's not something you can just go roll around. But, kind of, I'm working as a barista. I got my 17, 18-year-old job. Like, yeah, you can dress like goth. Nobody cares.
I think the point of this was that goth has always been there, correct? Like, you're goth at heart, and so you express it on the outside. I think goth is getting trendy now.
Oh.
To where now they're dressing that way because
well, then
they
real
want
goths would want to not be goth anymore.
I wonder if they're going back and
It's
listening.
kinda like, if you're being gothy, and then that becomes trendy outside of your particular group of people, right? Like-minded folks. Then, like, you wouldn't want to be goth. It's like I'm trying to be somewhat different.
So what's the line between you're in a rock band and this dude and you're wearing eyeliner and goth?
The guy in the rock band is still trying to have a good time.
He's happy.
Right.
Then there's emo. It fits in there somewhere.
But they are distinct. I don't know what it is, but they are distinct. I think it has to... never mind. I'm not even going to go. Miles, I got a riddle for you, buddy.
Okay.
What do vodka, sex, and a garden hose all have in common?
They're all in my bedroom.
Sex, and a garden hose.
Yeah.
I've had vodka on sex.
Vodka on sex?
Yeah, vodka on sex.
I'll swing like a garden hose.
Yeah, I don't know.
They can all get kinky. You're absolutely right. But today we're going to talk about the sex part.
The Men's Room Top 10.
Vodka
Well
gets
done.
kinky.
The Men's Room Top 10.
You ever had kinky vodka?
10 or more of the most popular kinks in every U.S. state revealed. Mine is dieselphilia. The first time I smelled diesel exhaust, I was hooked. I had to own and drive my own diesel truck. Sometimes when I'm filling up my Duramax, I let some of the diesel fuel spill on my hands. Then I rub it on my pants, right on top of my naughty parts, and then drive around Seattle, rubbing my pants and sniffing my fingers.
That truck's been in the shop more than he's driven it.
Well, yeah, it's teasing him.
He was
at this
Ubering
point.
home today.
It's just teasing him at this point.
He's like my car. My car's been in the shop forever.
So these are the top.
This seems to be a common thing around here.
Yeah, my car's in the shop right damn now.
So what this is, it is the most searched for fetish in each U.S. state.
All right.
Most of these are, one state is searching this more than anybody else, and then I'm going to give you guys the one that has the biggest cluster of states, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to start with our friends in Utah. They're searching for balloon fetishes.
Can you guys be any lamer?
It gets
Is it
weird,
possible to be balloon?
What do you just have it all around you when you're balloons
I think
everywhere?
you just bring balloons into it. There might be a crush thing where you sit on the balloon and make it pop. I don't know for certain.
Honest to God, I'm Googling this.
Bro, I think both of our computers are going to get flagged by the company because I was searching a lot of these like, why are we looking at this?
A beginner's guide to balloon play during sex. Honest to God, that is a beginner's guide.
We always used the balloon to stay in between you and the girl you were dancing with.
There you go.
To leave room for the Holy Spirit.
Blowing up balloons, popping balloons, orgasming because of balloons. If you clicked on this article because you absolutely needed to know what balloon sex had to do with each other, it's party time.
All right.
I'll stop there.
Blowing up balloons is in like you can't see it?
People with this fetish often refer to themselves as lunars.
Right.
The lunar community can be found all over the internet, blah, blah, blah. But what is it? What am I doing?
So keep moving on here. Our friends over in Connecticut and Illinois, they like when the guy just takes a foot right between the legs.
So they're
kicked in the junk?
Busting, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right.
And I know it's a thing. I know that pain is a thing when it comes to kinks.
Sure.
But that's a different level of pain. Pinching here and there, like, all right, fine, it releases whatever hormone. Okay, cool. Bro, just taking a shot.
Now I'm in the mood.
Oh, God. Iowa, they like a little bit of biting out there.
Somehow
Biting.
makes sense.
I've run into a biter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Did it work for you?
No, it's painful, but it wasn't my thing. She was like,
she just wanted to bite you.
Well, no, she wanted to sometimes be bitten too. But I was like, at one point, it's like, you gotta stop biting. Like, I guess I'm doing something right if you feel the need to bite me. But like, I was like, that really hurt.
A couple states over in Montana, they like breast expansion.
Breast expansion.
Yes.
I like breast expansion.
Giant.
Is that based on the mountains?
What
could be.
What exactly is breast expansion?
If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this if this is your thing, but I think it's when like maybe in the act they get bigger.
But how do you control?
Oh, no, but just something to search up on the internet.
Correct. Not necessarily everything that you can do here. Something that you can bring to the bedroom. Chastity over in Nebraska.
Really, Nebraska?
They like chastity.
Oh my God.
That's just doing it for them.
Just having your chastity belts bang against each other.
You thought balloons were weird in Utah? Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
That's hot.
What, do you gotta find the key?
Our friends in Wyoming, they like CPR.
What?
Yeah.
So like she's almost dead. I got to bring her back to life.
I guess. I don't
What
know.
are you
With his
doing,
garden, with his garden hose?
Damn, man.
Kentucky, they like the diapers out there.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Come on.
Miles, your home state of West Virginia. What are they looking for out there? What do you think?
Oh, man, I
It's
don't know.
probably the most vanilla kink fetish. For some, it's not a fetish. It's just
Putting your meat in a hot dog bun? I don't know.
nah. Ebony.
What is it?
Ebony.
Ebony. Black women.
Ebony.
Yeah.
Oh, Ebony.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Our friends down in
I
Oregon.
love that song.
That's right.
Ebony and Ivory. I get to be the
Living
Ivory.
together.
Yeah. That might just be you don't see enough black women in West Virginia.
That's my fault. Like, hell no.
Starving to death over here.
Black chicks are exotic. Down in Oregon, they like the enema.
And man, Oregon. We knew you're weird, bro, but come on.
It's not
Minnesota,
a bad idea. It's like a precursor to something.
right? Minnesota, they like hog tying.
Okay.
Mississippi, they like tape.
Tape?
Rhode Island, they just like smoking.
Really?
I've seen that fetish every once in a while. It's bizarre. Two people are having sex and they're dragging cigarettes. You're like, could you just wait?
Right.
Could you just wait for
You're really nick-fitting that
5
bad.
minutes?
I've seen it the other way. She's like doing something while smoking a cigarette.
Wisconsin, they like socks.
Yeah?
Just keep the socks
It's cold
on.
there. It's cold.
Keep your socks on.
Alaska, they like the sissy stuff.
Sissy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to move on.
Oh.
No, not that. No. Like, there you go. There you go.
Little effeminate fella.
There you go. Alabama says it just says pedal.
Pedal. Pedal or pedal?
Pedal with a D, like on your bike, a pedal. I don't know what the pedal's doing.
I got it.
I'm
Hurt my
scared.
feelings.
Oh, Lordy. Down in New Mexico, I don't know how in the hell they're making this happen in New Mexico, but they like latex. It's too damn
It's
hot.
hot, man.
I can't do that. South Dakota, they like the wedgie.
What? No.
All right.
They like that wedgie stuff.
Chicks had a nice derriere.
Our friends over in Idaho as well as over in Virginia, they like the fart stuff.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You love me.
Get a little gassy.
You fart on people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Or they fart on you more accurately.
Oh, all right.
How do you find out someone's into that? You're like, hey, my bad. No, do it again.
That is something
All
that
right.
you wait a long time before you tell somebody.
You bring it up on the first date, Mike.
You
Ted,
see if they're buying hummus.
Ted, your home state of Maryland.
Seasoning play.
They're into the, I hope I can say this. Pretty sure I can. It's called the smother box. It is something that a man will wear on his head, I believe.
Oh.
That is more of a seat.
Okay, I got you.
So, and it's a box.
All right.
All right, man.
Moving on. In Kansas, Louisiana, and Maine, they like the smother box without the box.
Oh, okay.
They don't want that to get in the way.
Just sit down.
They don't want that to get in the way.
Goods.
Florida, Pennsylvania, Texas, and right here in Washington State, we like all that tickling.
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 That's why Tickle Me Elmo does so well.
Colorado, Massachusetts, North Carolina, North Dakota, Oklahoma, and South Carolina. They like wrestling.
Really?
You're wrestling
All
in the
right.
bed.
Okay, off the top, bro.
Yeah.
Just be careful.
That's right.
I mean, yeah.
Down in Arizona.
Can we both wear singlets?
Ooh, not bad. That's a good call.
Put you in a chokehold.
Arizona, D.C., Indiana, New York, New Jersey, and Tennessee. They like that giantess stuff. Giantess. They like the big guys.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Big guys.
Oh, like Tyreek Hill.
To bed.
And then this is wild. So this is the number one. In Arkansas, California, Georgia, Hawaii, Michigan, Missouri, Nevada, and Vermont, they like what's called vor.
Vor?
V-O-R-E. They like vor. And what that is you take the giantess and she is eating you.
Oh, wow. Okay, man.
Yeah.
You do your thing.
Either you are eating somebody or they are eating you. That is what vor is.
Yeah, that's hot.
And that...
Wow.
Miles, why would a restaurant in Australia need to make an adjustment with their fortune cookies?
I can't imagine why.
Tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming at 5:50. In the meantime, we made it to drinking time.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the men's room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk. And Steve at Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast an anonymous man from somewhere in eastern Texas. Turns out the police, they set up a sting to catch this guy because apparently he was illegally hunting deer.
All right.
So deer season ended. They actually set up cameras, and they waited until the first day of deer season back in November. And this guy showed up, and they caught him. Now, here's what made this guy interesting. Yes, he was hunting deer illegally, but he was hunting deer from a porta potty. You see, he set up the porta potty on someone else's property, never asked for permission, and the person who lives there was unaware of this. So he had a porta potty. He spray painted it camo. Then he cut holes in the sides for his gun. So it was like a makeshift deer blind, right, for hunters, because they sit there and wait for the deer to show up. But he's doing it in the camo porta potty. Now, the fact that it was a camo porta potty, that's not even an issue. Actually, that's fine, apparently. It's just that he set it up on private property and didn't ask. And again, like I said, officials found out about a year ago. They had to set up the cameras and wait for him. But they charged him after he admitted to hunting without permission. He also had to remove the porta potty. They did not say if it was a functioning porta potty or not. So that's it. That's his whole thing. Just spray. They're like, look, man, we don't care that you have a camo porta potty. It's fine to hunt like that. You're on private property. That's all. And he didn't have his license. Damn. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bijola.
Let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This right now. 206-803-ROCK. Profile This is next.
Is your team at work feeling a little disconnected? Maybe the workflow's not flowing? Try Confluence by Atlassian. Confluence is the connected workspace where teams can create, organize, and deliver work like never before. In Confluence, teams can whiteboard their vision for any project, easily create or access the relevant pages and resources they need, and discover important context they might not even know they need. Plus, AI helps teams jumpstart brainstorms, organize information, and connect workflows, so teams can move efficiently and create alignment with ease. In fact, with Confluence, teams can see 5.2% average boost in productivity in 1 year. So if your team lacks confidence, try Confluence, the connected workspace where teams can do it all. Set knowledge free with Confluence. Learn more at Atlassian.com/confluence. That's ATLASSIAN.com/CONFLUENCE.
Plug-in a Hyundai EV and the extraordinary happens. From the charge time and range in the Ioniq 5 and 6 to the adventurous spirit of the Kona Electric to the 601 horsepower Ioniq 5N. Hyundai EVs make the extraordinary electrifying. There's joy in every journey.
EPA estimated 303-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 5 SE SEL Limited rear-wheel drive and 361-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 6 SE long-range rear-wheel drive with fully charged battery. Actual range may vary. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
The brand new Grand Casino and Shoreline is now open. Step into the action with Vegas-style table games like Baccarat, Heads Up Hold'em Poker, Pai Gow, Blackjack, and High Card Flush. Feeling hungry? Feast on delicious Chinese, Vietnamese, and continental dishes plus breakfast favorites. Dine in or take out. And don't miss daily happy hours from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. to midnight. Grand Casino and Shoreline off Aurora. Open daily from 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. Visit GrandCasinoGaming.com. Welcome to the Grand Experience.
So I used Gemini for the first time the other day, and the most impressive thing to me was just talking to it. You go live with it, and then it's just like you're having a conversation. You can just talk about your day or have it explain something to you or start brainstorming ideas. Let me give you an example. I pretended I have a job interview coming up and asked it to help me prep for the interview. It immediately started suggesting common questions I might get asked. Then I started talking through my answers out loud, and it would give me feedback. And it's all happening in real time, like I'm talking to a career coach or something. That's just what I tried first, but you can talk to it about anything. And I honestly think that's the magic of it, how you can just have this back and forth and it's all seamless. If you haven't tried it yet, it's definitely worth checking out. You'll see what I mean.
Auto insurance rates are on the rise, which is why you should call Vern Fonk Insurance. Vern Fonk could save you up to 20% on your auto insurance. The pros at Vern Fonk will do all the work, comparing different plans to find you the best options. And they can insure you over the phone. One call to Vern Fonk could save you up to 20%. Call 206-408-5094. 206-408-5094.
Remember to honk when you drive by Vern Fonk.
Restrictions apply based on a Q3 2023 study of Vern Fonk Insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number 1070622.
I recently found out that you can see a personal dietitian covered by insurance. There's this platform called Nourish that will match you with a dietitian based on whatever your concerns are, whether that's weight loss, eating disorders, autoimmune conditions, or something else. They're actually a network with major insurance providers, so most patients pay $0 out of pocket. 94% of patients pay $0 out of pocket. Find your dietitian at usenourish.com. That's usenourish.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With nonstop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation by offering comfortable and spacious cabins. Fly the striped way. Visit Condor.com today.
Hey, what's the easiest way to find out what channel the game's on? Sports on What? Subscribe to the Sports on What app and quickly find the channel for every provider. Satellite.
99.9 KISW. Text the men's room at 206-803-ROCK.
TV Time with Ted brought to you by Xfinity. Give them a call, 1-800-XFINITY.
The men's room presents Profile This.
And Steven Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
Oh, I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Daniel. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores. All right, Daniel, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. You have your choice of one of three stories today. Today we offer you Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? Hit Me with your best shot, where you guess the unconventional object someone chose to use as a weapon. And finally, Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
Well, with how it's gone, we'll go with Bite Me.
Just eat it. Get yourself an egg and beat it.
All right, an Australian Instagram model named Emily Bright. She was in New Zealand recently. And that's where she bought a wrapped sandwich from a local sandwich shop and, as you'd expect, started eating it. But after a couple of bites, she bit into something hard. Now, first, she thought it was a carrot because the hard thing was orange. But after a quick inspection, she realized that it was not a carrot. Anyway, she posted a video about it. But instead of being freaked out, she called the situation, quote, funny, and says that she was lucky the situation wasn't worse. Now, naturally, people in the comments told her to sue. But she posted a follow-up video pointing out that she wasn't hurt or poisoned, so what would she sue for? Besides, she said, she didn't want to get the worker fired, and obviously it was a mistake. So the question is, what did she bite into? Was it a highlighter? Was it a lighter? Was it a Sharpie, or was it a knife? So highlighter, lighter, Sharpie, or knife?
What kind of a sandwich?
She didn't say what kind of sandwich. She just thought she bit into a carrot when she bit into the sandwich, but it was not a carrot.
All right. What do you think, Miles?
I think
highlighter, lighter.
Highlighter, lighter, Sharpie, or knife. I think, Daniel, I'm going to go lighter.
Ted?
Well,
what do you think, Ted?
I mean, she got it at a sandwich shop, but it was a pre-packaged sandwich.
Yeah.
It was pre-wrapped, huh? Okay.
Yeah, sometimes they have ones that are like quick to go.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm assuming it is.
And sometimes you just want to get different toppings. So you're like, nah, can you please make me one? So in theory, almost any of these could work, but I think it's a Sharpie.
Sharpie.
Yeah, the guy was writing like turkey and cheese and just left the orange Sharpie in there.
Hey, that's a good idea. I'll split it in a three-way with the highlighter.
You're going to go highlighter. Okay.
Highlighter.
What did she bite into? Was it a highlighter, a lighter, a Sharpie, or a knife? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
You're listening to The Men's Room.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. When that pipe starts to trickle and you're in a real pickle, call Pinky. When that burst pipe starts to smell ripe, call Pinky. When your water heater's shot and it won't get hot, call Pinky. When you get home to a flood, call your best bud. Pinky's Plumbing to the rescue. No job is too big or too small. Pinky's does it all. So when your plumbing backs up and things get stinky, call Pinky's. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Plug in a Hyundai EV and the extraordinary happens. From the charge time and range in the Ioniq 5 and 6 to the adventurous spirit of the Kona Electric to the 601 horsepower Ioniq 5N. Hyundai EVs make the extraordinary electrifying. There's joy in every journey.
EPA estimated 303-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 5 SE SEL limited rear-wheel drive and 361-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 6 SE long-range rear-wheel drive with fully charged battery. Actual range may vary. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Category is Bite Me on Profile List. We got an Australian model. She was over in New Zealand, I guess. Bought a sandwich wrap and bit into something hard and orange.
Yes.
She was not upset about this. It was nothing that cracked her teeth or anything.
No.
She kind of laughed it off, and people said maybe you should sue or whatever. And she's like, no, it's not a big deal. Question is, did she bite into a highlighter, a lighter, a Sharpie, or a knife?
And Donald, that is the very question we posed to you. But let us start with Miles Montgomery. He went with a lighter.
I did.
It was not a lighter.
And she didn't get hurt.
She did not get hurt. Daniel, you went with a highlighter. However, it was not. Whoops, that is the wrong sound effect.
Let's have a cocktail.
That is a cocktail.
You got it wrong. Have a drink, dummy.
V. Ted Smith, you went with the Sharpie.
Yes.
Join him for drinks.
Damn it.
Go ahead, pour you one right now.
Yeah.
No?
It was a knife.
It was a knife.
She bit into the handle.
Oh, now that's a knife.
All right.
That's why. Pretty good.
That's what she said.
Jeez whiz.
That's why she wasn't.
Okay.
She said it could have been worse. She started from the other side. She'd have bit into the blade, but she bit into the handle, which was orange.
Now, for all TV news all the time, it is time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right. You got the Jimmy.
Fallon and Kibble.
Stephen Colbert. Seth Meyers. Tomlinson.
Taylor.
Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
That's right, in the title. These guys have talented teams of writers help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late-night joke and from whom, or could it be a V. Ted Smith original?
The Eagles got absolutely dominated on Sunday. The last time someone from Philadelphia smacked somebody that hard, they got banned from the Oscars.
Wow. Oh, man. Fallon.
That is Fallon.
The Eagles absolutely dominated on Sunday. The last time somebody from Philadelphia smacked someone that hard, they got banned from the Oscars.
With football now over for the year, Sundays will be different for a lot of people, but mostly kids who haven't seen their dads on Sundays all year.
Ted Smith.
Colbert.
That was me. For Valentine's Day, Subway is offering buy one, get one subs. What better way to say I love you than I got this for free from Subway?
Colbert.
Yeah, Colbert.
Myers.
In honor of Valentine's Day, Subway is offering buy one, get one free sub. What better way to say I love you than I got this for free at Subway?
I hate to admit it, I just realized what BOGO deal meant like days ago.
Buy one,
get one.
Yeah. See it a lot of places. Like, what the hell's a BOGO?
I'd like one order of BOGO.
What is it, Korean?
I don't know. That's...
Even though it wasn't that much of a game, this was the highest rated Super Bowl in history. Almost 128 million people tuned in. Tubi scored a record 13.6 million viewers for the game, which beat their previous record by 13.6 million.
Fallon.
Colbert.
Kibble.
Even though it wasn't much of a game, this was the highest rated Super Bowl of all time. Nearly 128 million people tuned in. Tubi scored a record 13.6 million viewers for the game, which beat their previous record by 13.6 million viewers.
Taco Bell is offering a wedding package at its Las Vegas location that includes an Elvis impersonator. Okay, but is this a real Elvis impersonator or just a Taco Bell customer who died on the toilet?
Myers.
Yeah,
Seth Meyers.
Taco Bell has announced it will offer a wedding package at its Las Vegas Boulevard location that includes an Elvis impersonator. Okay, but is it a real Elvis impersonator or just a Taco Bell customer who died on the toilet?
Seth's got to ease up on the bell, man. He's always hating on Taco Bell.
Yeah,
come on.
That tells me he eats it a lot.
You think?
Yeah.
Given his proclivity for a cocktail.
Right.
Yeah, you could see him sneaking in a Crunchwrap Supreme at midnight.
I'm going to make fun of you, but also I eat your food all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know it's bad when you're in some little town and like there's not even a Taco Bell open. It's like, what the hell are we going to eat?
Come on, man.
Next thing you know, you're grabbing big bites off the hot dog roller by hand. Not a true story. Speaking of hot dogs, these dogs aren't hot, but sometimes they're the best in show.
For Best in Show at the 149th Annual Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show, I choose the Giant Schnauzer.
That is unbelievable.
He finally wins Best in Show.
The dog's not a man.
For Katie Bernadette. Monty the Magnificent, your 2025 Best in Show, the Giant Schnauzer.
I'm just saying, I'm at the NFL draft. They were the first pick in the NFL draft. The Jacksonville Jaguars take that big brother from the...
Holy cow!
With
a
the
giant
schnauzer. Yeah. Big brother with the weird sideburns. I mean, this freaking dog had a name. Like that
He's Bonnie the Magnificent.
I know. I just feel like you'd say the name first.
Oh, all right. He is a giant schnauzer. Golly. Look at the size of that beast.
Why do we all keep saying it as if it's like his fault?
Giant schnauzer. It's a beautiful looking dog.
I guess. I feel like giant schnauzer.
But he's a giant schnauzer. He just looks like, yeah, man, I'm here.
The dogs have no idea.
Seriously. Looks like he's going to order a drink.
Or his eyes open.
That's a different breed of people, too. And there's different versions of dog shows, right?
Yeah.
So, for instance, about a month ago, I met a guy at a casino, and he was talking about how he used to raise dogs that would chase Frisbees. And he was one of the first halftime shows when the Seahawks opened that stadium.
All right.
And I was like, that's cool. Like, you got a little dog that's doing, like, adventure stuff? Cool. But I feel like show dog people are very specific.
Yeah. So very weird. My only interaction ever with show dog people, one of the places I lived in Baltimore was near a place called the Armory, and I did not know that the Armory was hosting a dog show. So I'm taking my dog out for a walk. In the park I take my dog to, it was literally across the street from the Armory. There's an absurd number of people with vans and campers and all, and dogs, and I'm just like, oh, there must be a dog show. Anyway, my dog sniffed around the grass, and there's a standard poodle. That's a taller one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the standard poodle walked over. So the standard poodle walked over to us and was sniffing my dog's ass. And this woman freaked out on me. Go, get your dog away from my dog. I'm like, let your dog sniffing my dog's ass. Like, this is clearly, like, that's her play. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what to say. She came over and snatched her dog and gave me this dirty look. And I'm like, is this how they all are? Right? I mean, that's, you know what I mean? Well, my dog wasn't doing it. They weren't playing. My dog did not touch your dog. Your dog came over to sniff my dog's butt.
Even if you're one of the finalists, right? You're up there. You don't win best in show, but you win best in your category.
What are the other categories?
It depends on the breed.
Well, the breed. So that's the thing. They're saying this is the top dog of every
all dogs.
Right, there's small dog breeds, tall dog breeds, hunting breeds.
He's Lord of the
That's right.
Dogs.
There's 8 of these guys up there, and each one has won their individual category.
Right.
And then the woman picks the one that's the overall winner.
Jesus.
But all of the dogs that are up there, they basically win a lifetime of sex.
Because everybody wants to stud them out or
They
whatever.
don't know that at the time. But for the rest of their life, man, it's...
What's the best phrase in sports? Usually used for horses. Retire to stud.
Yeah, man.
I did see a funny thing the other day. Somebody was in a giant veterinarian hospital, and they were just going around asking people that work there, what's the most overrated dog breed?
All right.
Any guesses?
Most overrated as far as people who have them or just the dog itself?
They just were asking the vet techs, and they just said, what's the most overrated?
Beagles.
No. French Bulldog.
Really?
Doodles.
Yeah.
Okay. I can believe that.
Well, everybody has them, but they're, I don't know.
Pain in the ass to have.
Yeah. French Bulldog is a great little dog, but you're going to spend a lot of money. And, like, I just feel like everybody has them.
Right.
And then, no offense, but I have a buddy that has a doodle, and the thing's crazy.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. You got to do your research before you get a dog because yes, doodles are crazy. Corgis, they're psychopaths. They're a-holes.
Told you I was really close to getting that little corgi that's mixed with a husky.
Oh God, that would be loud.
That was the issue.
Yes. That would be loud.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of those breeds that a lot of people like. You know, border collies. Everybody loves doing border collies, but you have to be ready to get out there and work them. Those
right,
are
you shouldn't have them like in apartments and stuff.
No. Same with the gray dogs with the blue eyes. Whatever, they kind of look like a lab.
The Australian Shepherd?
Yeah, those things, man.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Yeah, my dog is half that, and Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will say on the
They're
other
in a
hand,
tight
though,
screw in that brain.
apparently greyhounds, after they're like 2 or 3, are awesome apartment dogs, even though they
don't make a noise.
They don't make much noise. They don't mind kind of just being like, I'm done running. I'm just going to lay around all day.
Yep.
But they're very hard to gain their affection. I lived in a building with one, man. It took me months to get that dog.
That's what I've heard about greyhounds.
Yeah, not in a mean way. It was just, just kind of like.
It want nothing to do with you.
Yeah. I'm a runner, sir. You don't appear to run. And I was like, wow, I don't need that from you. You're a dog. You walk on all fours, dude.
Maybe consider a treadmill.
Yeah. You don't jog, do you? A couple things in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, credit to him. You win that prize, you go to Disney World.
Yeah.
And they're going to make you the honorary, what do you call that when you're the parade captain? Grand Marshal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, man, I know, like, you would like that. I'd be like, look, dude, I won the Super Bowl. It's cool to go to Disney World.
I'll go there.
I don't want to be in the parade. Guys, seriously.
No, and
not
look,
your Disney parade.
I'm going to go do something that I want to do first.
I want to ride the
then-
roller coaster.
Can I just come back to Disney, you know what I mean, like sometime next year? Do I have to go now?
I think they'll give you both, but it's just like the next day, you're in that parade.
Wow. Yeah, they can.
I think they give you a private flight there and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I think Disney can afford it.
Well, and here's the thing. That's at the Magic Kingdom. Most people don't know this. Inside Cinderella's castle there, they don't have reservations, but it's called priority seating. They do have a full dinner up there, and you can actually get an alcoholic beverage. So if I'm Jalen Hurts, like I would be like, let's skip the lines, and I want to go up there and get some of that famous prime rib and a cocktail.
Yeah. Well, back to the NFL show you're watching. Do you think that they have a particular meeting, or is it just a team thing? Like, look, just know Saquon, Jalen, whoever you think, AJ Brown, whoever you think has the opportunity to be the MVP. Do you let them know there is a possibility? Just know.
Honestly, Jalen Hurts delivered it so well. I fully believe that he had practiced that before.
Probably.
Some of those guys, I think and it's part of the media training that these guys go through now. And look, keep in mind, Jalen Hurts was the quarterback at Alabama. In the national title game, Nick Saban takes him out, puts in Tua Tagovailoa, right? And then the next year, he goes to Coach Saban and goes, are you sticking with Tua? And he's like, yeah. Saban goes, well, let's look at schools. Let's let you transfer. Goes to Oklahoma, has an awesome year, becomes the captain there. And then in Philly, I like Jalen Hurts. I don't know that he's going to blow you out of the water with numbers and stuff, but the guy is just a proven winner and a leader, right? He transferred in, and within, kind of like Russell Wilson did, right? Russell Wilson got that extra year after NC State. He went to Wisconsin, and they're like, yeah, within 3 weeks, he was our captain and knew the playbook inside and out.
Right.
So, I mean, just credit to those dudes that are winners. I think you can always have those sports arguments, right? Like, look, Eli Manning, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, but if I have to pick a guy to go win a Super Bowl, it's probably Eli Manning because he just is a winner.
And they took out Tom Brady.
Derek Jeter, at the end of the day, never blew you away in the regular season. When you got to the postseason, I don't know how to explain it. The guy just went to another level and just couldn't miss.
Right.
So, kind of crazy there. I don't know. I think they're having the parade. I don't know. They'll tear down Philly. Lord knows they're in trouble for that. Let's see. Kendrick Lamar's not like us. Obviously, a big jump in that number. That's always the big thing. Mahomes came out and apologized. Like, listen, Patrick Mahomes, you don't have to apologize. You guys had a bad game.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean?
It happens.
Right.
Even to you.
Right. Even to you. It will be interesting to see what happens with that team, but I really don't think, I don't think they're going away for a minute. No.
They might have another season or two. I think it just depends on salary cap.
It does, but Mahomes is also just that good that I'm like, I don't know if it really matters. Kelsey's getting a little bit up there as far as athletes go.
Yeah.
So he might just be like, screw it, I might be done playing, but.
Well, the Lions were on a roll all year. You kind of thought that they might have a chance,
Yeah.
The Bills are playing great all year. The Ravens played good all year. There's a lot of good teams that I feel like have a shot if they can just keep up the same momentum and play kind of the same way that they did this year. So I still think it's a toss-up. I don't think there's any one dominating team anymore now that KC is lost.
Right.
I heard somebody else, some sports radio made a good point. They're like, dude, the Chiefs might have just been spent after beating Buffalo.
It's probably the toughest game they had all season, right?
When you go through all that stuff. Let's see. This is kind of crazy. People are saying that Patrick Mahomes got trolled by Nike. As Nike had a Super Bowl commercial say it's not easy being green, sung by Kermit the Frog. Oh. He gets trolled all the time for sounding like Kermit. He's also endorsed by Adidas. And the captain, right, it's good to be green. I would also think probably because the Philadelphia Eagles are wearing green.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that had a lot to do with it. I don't know that Nike went out of its way to be like, we're going to troll another athlete because of his brand or whatever.
Why would they care? Yeah.
I will say those brand wars are crazier than you think.
I'm sure, but I don't know that you troll a specific player.
Yeah. Well, I think I was talking a couple weeks ago. Nike made a poor choice when they actually have been not losing money, not making as much because they took everything out of stores and went online.
Yeah.
And then also they lost a lot of their the guys that made the shoes, right? Like some of them went to Under Armour. Some of them went to Adidas. So they lost some of those designers. So they keep putting out. That's why you see everybody in those in the Panda Dunks. I just don't like them. But they just kept putting out the same shoe or different versions of the same shoe as opposed to being like, here's the new whatever.
Gotcha.
So Nike's run into some issues. But like, listen, my buddy used to work for corporate Under Armour. Remember, Under Armour had a shoe. It was terrible. And they literally went and cherry-picked a guy from Adidas. And we're like, all right, we're going to relaunch these shoes, but you better make them so that athletes actually want to wear them and compete in them as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a ruthless game out there. All right, let's see. If you like Inside the NFL, well, season finale of that is tonight. You can check that out. Celebrity Jeopardy's got some interesting people on there. And then if you like The Masked Singer, that premieres tonight over on Fox.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Florida woman gets mad at her boyfriend and beats him with her electronic carrot. Meanwhile, a restaurant is forced to apologize after fortune cookies say sickness, death, and bad luck you will inherit. Florida man riding a lawnmower takes out mailboxes before crashing in the street. A cat is rescued after climbing a tree and gets stuck at 30 feet. And two men tried to rob a home, so the homeowner steals their getaway car. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
And on top story, we go to Australia, where a local restaurant had to make an adjustment. It's a Vietnamese-style restaurant that prides itself on its parting gift, fortune cookies containing rude messages. You would love this place.
I like it already, yeah.
They don't hold back either. Some examples of messages people have gotten are, quote, "The year of the snake bears fortune. Your divorce is coming soon." They also have, "I only married you for your money, you ugly sea."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they got some pretty...
I do like that.
They got some good ones in there.
I always want to do when it says, "I sneezed in your rice." But I make sure it's handwritten. That'll disturb them.
Yeah. Sorry, that one got me. Good work. But they hit a snag with the manufacturer over the holiday season, informing them that they would no longer be processing They'd no longer be processing fortune cookies with profane messages. The reason being is that they got complaints from at least one other customer that got the wrong messages in the cookies that they ordered.
I had sex with Katie too.
There was a bit of a mix-up there. They said that there was they were more than welcome to get blank cookies, and they could insert the messages themselves or take out the profanity, and they'd continue to manufacture the cookies there at the factory. The restaurant owner is doing a mix of both after getting into a dispute with the manufacturer. And you know what? Her point is sound. She said, "Look, I made the order with you. I have my own, account with you. I'm a different client of yours. I have these all locked in. That's a you problem. That's not a me problem. Like, I did not put that in anybody else's cookies. You put it in their cookies." So, and I get it from their side. They're trying to keep themselves safe, that they're not sending just rude AF messages to some poor restaurant just trying to make it happen. In other news, two men in Vermont were caught trying to rob a home after they were outsmarted. They went in with a rather clever scheme, posing as utility workers responding to reports of a gas leak.
Gas man.
Yeah, they just walked right in. They were able to gain entry to the home and eventually turned on their victims, donning masks and holding the victims at gunpoint. When things took a turn for the worse, the family dog responded by barking incessantly, as dogs will do, eventually leading the robbers to allow one of the victims to take the dog outside to calm him. That was a mistake. Seizing opportunity, the homeowner ran around from the back to find the vehicle that the robbers were using, unlocked, keys in the ignition, and running. They hopped in and drove around the corner to call police. The robbers fled when their getaway rig was stolen, but made the mistake of leaving identifying information and a cell phone in the car that could identify at least one of them, and he was arrested. Dummy.
Damn.
Good work. I mean, the plot was sound. We're gonna get these uniforms come in there. I think they even did something with their gas meter or something like that to where they could actually create a gas smell. Like, hey, we heard that there's reports of a leak out here, and then that's how they get into the house.
That all went south.
Doggone getaway car running to Florida, where one woman needs to give up the sauce. She was staying with her ex-husband for a period of time as she gathered her belongings to move from Puerto Rico to Connecticut to start her new life. But things took a turn when she started drinking. And got a little too rowdy. She started antagonizing the man about the people that he was following on Instagram, eventually becoming combative, and armed herself with a phallic sex toy, which she used to batter the man. Police were eventually called. They arrested the woman, who they say couldn't give them a coherent story of what happened. So I don't think she just had a few cocktails. I think she got blackout.
That's the feeling that I get there.
I think she went off the deep end there. But just in case those stories with the bad taste in your mouth,
thankfully there's good news.
We go to Pennsylvania for the oldest story known to man. An 84-year-old woman went outside to collect her cat that she could hear crying from an unknown location. She had a hard time finding the feline, as most owners can relate there. Mm-hmm. But that was until she looked up and noticed her precious cat was about 30 feet up in the air in a tree. She did her best to coax the cat down, but ultimately had to leave him in the tree overnight. Said it was keeping the neighbors up all night long, just meow, meow. But she had to leave him up there overnight until she could get someone for help. After being given the runaround by authorities, she called so many different authorities, like, hey, I got my cat that's stuck in a tree. She's 80, so it's not like she's just going to go up that tree, right? And she doesn't have a ladder for it. Oh, yeah, let me connect you to so-and-so. Oh, yeah, we don't take care of that.
I guess he just called the fire department.
Yep, and they reconnected her to somebody else, and then they didn't take care of it. Oh, yep, we never got a call about that.
Yeah, I don't know that the fire department actually shows up for cat a tree.
No, they'll refer you if I'm not mistaken.
Based on what I've seen my kids do, call neighborhood kids and they'll throw a ball until they knock it down.
That's not too far off from what she did.
The blanket.
She eventually got the help of a local handyman who had to make a quick trip for a bigger ladder. He had like a 20-foot. He needed a 35-foot.
He always did.
Yeah, damn right he did. Attaboy, Ted. He braved the heights to bring the cat back down safe on the ground. Good work there. Gotta love it.
Can you imagine that cat up there all night making noise?
I'm scared.
Why'd you climb up there?
Dummy. Stupid. I can't get down. Men's Room Sports brought to you by the fine folks at Sports on What? NBA, college basketball, and the Four Nations hockey begins tonight as well.
That's right.
Download the Sports on What app. It'll tell you where you can watch those games and at what time they're going to be on. It's a great little app to have. It has all that information for you. As far as your weather, things are warming up a little bit and the clouds are moving in. We're still expecting mostly clear skies with a few clouds. With just a few clouds and a low of 28 tonight. But tomorrow we're looking at mainly cloudy skies and a high of 38. So enjoy that. That's it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawkins out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Lovely Jolene's up next. We'll see you next time for the return of Big Dummy, and the Hef Chef is back with Ted's Meat and Potatoes.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
What is Dax, are you?
Tracking all our cars on Carvana Value Tracker on all our devices? Yes, Kristen, yes, I am.
Well, I've been looking for my phone for...
In Dax's domain, we see all. So we always know what our cars are worth.
All of them?
All of them. Value surge, trucks up 3.9%.
That's a great offer.
I know. Sell?
Sell.
Track your car's value with Carvana Value Tracker today.
Hiring is a lonely business. Posting jobs, sifting through resumes, interviews with unqualified applicants, being ghosted. What if you could link with dozens of qualified candidates who are ready to work right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, the workforce you need. Problem solved. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
This podcast is brought to you by Kleenex Lotion Tissues,
You can't predict sick days, but with Kleenex lotion tissues, you can be better prepared for them while helping keep your skin healthy. Whether it's a surprise sneeze or a stuffy nose, it's always good to have something gentle on hand. Kleenex lotion tissues moisturize to help prevent skin irritation while you're battling those unwanted cold and flu symptoms. It's extra care when you need it most. I mean, why not have one less thing to worry about when you're not feeling your best? For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
The brand new Grand Casino and Shoreline is now open. Step into the action with Vegas-style table games like Baccarat, Heads Up Hold'em Poker, Pai Gow, Blackjack, and High Card Flush. Feeling hungry? Feast on delicious Chinese, Vietnamese, and continental dishes, plus breakfast favorites. Dine in or take out. And don't miss daily happy hours from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. to midnight. Grand Casino and Shoreline off Aurora. Open daily from 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. Visit GrandCasinoGaming.com. Welcome to the Grand Experience.
Independent financial advisors focus on building a relationship with you that goes beyond your portfolio. As fiduciaries, they must act in your best interest, always. The relationship they have with you will be based on transparency and trust, and they're committed to bringing you advice that fits your values. That's why Charles Schwab is proud to support them. Visit findyourindependengadvisor.com.